Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the MinnMax Show, a place about games, friends, getting better. I'm Ben Hansen. Thanks for being here. I'm joined by Kyle Hilliard.
Hello.
Joined by MinnMax's production assistant, Nick Stefanacci.
What's going on, everyone?
Welcome. Joined by Jacob Geller, the Fighting Geller, they call him.
Aerial combo!
And also joined by returning MinnMax champion, Suriel Vasquez.
Hello.
Hello. What a special day it is. We've assembled this crew to, yes, talk about fighting games. We're talking about Marvel Tokon. And then, the Fighting Souls one. We're going to be unpacking that in a big way. And then after that, we're going back in time and talking about a fun duology, if you will, that just released of N64 throwback games. So we thought, let's get the oldest guy in the land, Kyle Hilliard, to come in and let's talk about the N64 for a bit.
Thank you.
And then after that, things get juicy. We're talking about final thoughts on Big Walk. Jeff Marchiafava is jumping in. Sarah Podzorski is jumping in. Haley McLean is jumping in. And then we're also going to be talking about, Moonlight Peaks. We're going to be talking about the Pokémon Pokopia expansion pass. And then also talking about the launch of the 1.0 version of Fields of Mistria, the farming sim and beyond that Sarah Podzorski has been working on for years. She's the social media and marketing manager for that game over there. So attachment noted, but that game has been kicking butt for 2 years in early access and continues to kick butt in 1.0. And so it's fun to unpack it with somebody from the inside like Sarah. So look forward to that chat. And then, of course, great community questions after that. People submit over there on Patreon. Suriel, thanks for being here, dude.
It's good to be here.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Good. It was fun, not to divulge too much, but for a top secret reason, we're all sharing a bunch of old Game Informer pictures in a Slack channel recently. Was that emotional? Was it nostalgic to go through some of those, Suriel, and try and dig out some gems?
Yeah, it was fun to look over that stuff in a way that wasn't like, hey, Google's surfacing you this photo from 7 years ago, like having to go back and manually look through my photos archive. I'm surprised I have those photos because I think Google's been picky about storage and stuff, and now you have to manually opt into that stuff. But yeah, it was really interesting to see oh yeah, I did do that, huh? I have been there.
There was a lot of stuff. Yeah, you made me laugh in a very obnoxious way when you posted that photo of us at the Pokemon World Championships in 2019. It was just me making a stupid face playing Pokemon Snap at the Pokemon World Championships. I love that they're this is what I want to do. Let's play some N64 in the corner like a sad little boy.
No, yeah, I mean, it's one of the most Ben Hansen pictures you could get.
Thank you so much.
By the way, to insert a plug real quick, we don't need to be coy.
Please.
The next issue of Game Informer is going to have a big 35th anniversary feature in it. We're going to have a big all these pictures that you guys are gathering, and subscribers will get a poster actually that has a bunch of Game Informer magazine images on it. So that's why everyone's digging into the archives. We don't need to be secret about it.
Nick, you can cut that part out. We should be secret.
Keep it, double it, keep it, double it.
I can't know how old we are.
But I still think, Suriel, of that Pokemon trip, and I know you were rudely laid off a week after it, so it's kind of a bittersweet period in your mind.
No, I still look back at that trip fondly.
I think about the video we made that was just about that trip. It's kind of a prologue to the format of kind of the travelogues here at MinnMax, but we made a travelogue type thing of Suriel and I going there, and it was us wandering around Washington, D.C. and just making Pokemon puns for famous Washington, D.C. landmarks, and it was if I think of the platonic ideal of a day, for me, it is that. It's just walking around DC, looking at landmarks and historical things and be let's see, Sixth Emperor Tyranitar, where Abraham Lincoln was shot. I remember you screamed at the White House, abolish ICE types, which I think about all the time.
You don't have video of that, do you?
There is. It's in the video.
It.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay.
Anyways, we got a lot going on in this episode we got to get to, but a couple things here outside of that. Reminder, we're going to be at PAX West this year. It is going to be Jacob. It's going to be Janet. It's going to be Sarah. It's going to be Kelsey. 5 of us attending PAX West in a big way, and so...
And you.
I will be there too. So Friday, September 4th, and then Sunday, September 6th, we have panels. We'd love for you to come out if you're in the area. On September 5th, we have a community meetup. You can look at Patreon. There's a public post with more details about that, or check out the description here. But we have a Trivia Tower panel on Friday at 3:30, and then a old-fashioned Q&A. It should be a fun podcasting thing on Sunday the 6th. And here's the thing. You can win 2 free tickets to PAX West. If you follow MinnMax on Instagram, MinnMax shows our Instagram handle. There's a link in the description if you want to check that out. There is a post on there about our PAX West panels. Leave any comment there. Leave a comment about what you'd want to ask at the Q&A. Anything you want under the sun, and you're in the running to win 2 PAX West tickets, which are, a good prize, I'd say. So jump on there, support MinnMax, and follow Instagram, MinnMax Show on Instagram. We'd appreciate that. And then also, Sergio Vasquez, I'll have you know
That's
this
me?
fun fact.
Okay.
We have a Rockin' Sockin' September coming up. I don't know if you've noticed, with like 1 million game launches that are all very exciting.
Oh, okay. I thought you guys meant MinnMax has a Rock'em Sock'em September.
We're gonna box.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
all gonna frickin' good.
You guys are really amped up about Marvel, huh? You guys are just like, what if we just fought in real life?
It's video games inspiring violence.
Yeah,
You're like trying to do uppercuts, trying to jump into the air to hit them.
everything's an auto combo in real life. You just go like
that's
this. Right. But no, there's so many good game releases, and we can only do a deepest dive on one. The best, most thorough discussion about games on the internet. And so it's like we could choose, but who wants to hear from us? So we're letting all Patreon supporters choose. We'll have a poll up next week on Patreon where you can vote to choose what game you think we should tackle in a multi-part game club discussion. Here are your options. Contestants, please. Wolverine. I'm splashy. I'm smooth. I'm a PlayStation big first-party game. Control Resonant. I'm freaky. I'm weird. I'm the follow-up to the Alan Wake 2 Deepest Dive. Onimusha, Way of the Sword. I'm Capcom. I have an unbroken streak recently. I will be good. Or Silent Hill Townfall. It's spooky. It's foggy. It's all a little soggy. So you can vote, everybody. Next week, we'll have that post up on Patreon for which game you want us to tackle for the deepest dive. Shout out to the Patreon supporters. It's a good time to jump in and let your voice be heard. Jacob, are you rooting for one over the other?
We've called the shot before. There's one that I think will win.
Yeah.
But like I would not be upset at doing any of these.
That's the goal.
Really. I think even the one that I think will get last place would be a great deepest dive, I think.
I agree. Absolutely. It's kind of fun follow-ups to, gosh, I guess we didn't do a deepest dive on Silent Hill. That's the only series here, more or less, that we haven't done something with.
I would rank Haley and Sarah's playthroughs where they talked through the whole thing and made fun of it as a deepest dive.
But they never finished it, though, did they?
They finished F. They didn't finish 2.
Yes,
Okay,
yes. Check out the MinnMax YouTube channel for that.
Close enough.
All right, we've assembled this panel here today. Frickin' Avengers assemble, right? To talk about Marvel Tokon. This is for all the fighting game fans out there that scream at us, where is your fighting game expertise? And the answer is, it was Surreal, and then he left us. How rude. But
We've had to outsource it.
Yeah, and then Nick Stefanacci also here. Nick, for a little bona fide, just talked about it before, but like you host regular fighting game tournaments over in New Jersey?
Yeah, so we do bi-weekly tournaments down at a brewery down the street from me. We've been doing it for 7 or 8 years, but even before that, I hosted tournaments in college and in high school. So I've been hosting tournaments for like 15 years now. So it's been a long time. But yeah, we had a tournament for Marvel last week or on Monday, and we had over 20 people attend it. So it was a pretty big turnout.
Yeah, does it seem like there's a lot of buzz for this one? It seems like this is the fighting game this year. I know there's been, 3 or 4 decent fighting games released so far this year, and it seems like, is this the one that people are really gunning for?
It's tough to say, like in the earlier stages. I think the IP really helps it out. I think like that beats like Invincible and then Avatar, especially for me, because I'm not even a big Marvel fan. It's flashy, it's cool looking, so I think it has that over the other games. It has like a bigger budget, which is nice. But like playing the tournament, like there was a lot of players that were like from the Smash side that were just trying it out. They weren't like part of like the FGC, even though it depending on who you ask, like they're kind of separated, but not at the same time. But yeah, there was like some Smash players just like, hey, I want to check out this fighting game. I want to see what it's about. So it was good getting some new players in on the game.
Yeah, right on. And the biggest surprise here, Jacob, I mean, you were dabbling, and how are you feeling about Marvel Tokon so far?
Yeah, I mean, what I was going to do is come here and give the single player review of Marvel Tokon because I didn't have a PS Plus subscription. And then like 3 days ago, I was like, F it, I'm buying a PS Plus subscription. I want to play this online, which both speaks well to the game and speaks poorly to its single player offerings.
Yes, there's a lot to unpack here, but I mean, this,
like generally, I have been having a real good time with it.
And like you like Smash fun. I'm trying to think if there's any other fighting games you've gotten into.
I mean, previously my biggest real fighting game other than Smash was Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah,
so like, I have played it, but I just kind of, I don't know. I wanted to try this. I really loved the art and the design. We've reacted to like the trailers of this before, but I kind of, it's like, all right, if I'm dipping my toe in any fighting game, this one kind of seems like the one to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Surreal? Person who loves fighting games at Game Informer, I just heard you smashing your fight sticks in training rooms for what feels like 80% of all work days. How are you feeling about the new game?
I think my first thoughts is that I'm washed as hell.
No.
I haven't been keeping up with fighting games recently just for just like life reasons, but I haven't been playing Avatar or Invincible. Though I did play some City of the Wolves a little while ago, and I hadn't really played a ton of it, and I was playing it at with some friends and stuff, and I went on a tear, having not played the game at all and just kind of using fundamentals, so that was fun. But I'm enjoying the fighting part, but I think it's just I'm still kind of in that honeymoon phase where it's like it has playable Miss Marvel in a fighting game, and that's just like that automatically puts it like on my game of the year list. I know that there was the Avengers game a few years ago, but this is like I remember when I saw Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite for the first time, and they showed me the trailer. They talked me through the systems or whatever, and then everyone was getting up to leave, and I think I was their first appointment, so I might have been like, I think they were all looking at my reaction of like, oh God, we need to like, this is the first time we're showing it to someone in the press or whatever, maybe.
Yeah.
But I was like stone-faced or whatever. So they had to ask me a lot of questions, but like they were getting up and saying like, so if we were to add onto hypothetically, obviously they weren't going to talk about the fact that they were adding DLC or whatever, but they're like, if you were to add other fighters, who would you add? And I said Miss Marvel like immediately, and they seemed genuinely caught off guard by the idea that I would suggest that. And they're like, okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, it's so crazy because like she's such a fun character. Also, like her moveset is basically Dalsim, like exaggerated Dalsim. It's like she's fun as hell. I think it makes total sense.
She's really cool because like she doesn't have an air dash or whatever, but she has like she can basically extend her hand and reach out and stuff. And there's a lot of cool combos. Like she's basically like Bionic Commando in Marvel 3, where it's like she has all these like ways to get around the screen and stuff, and so you use that in combos and stuff. But she also fits this game's aesthetic, I think, more so than most, other than like maybe Penny Parker.
Yeah.
Because one of her early arcs in the comics actually was illustrated in a manga style. Like it was the artist just happened to have like this manga reminiscent style, and so like her character model in the game actually looks pretty close to that version of her.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's like other characters are like, oh, Tony Stark looks very different, Captain America looks different. This is kind of a different Hulk or whatever. But I also appreciate that like it's a tag game technically, but you don't have to play it that way.
Yes.
Because you can just stick with one character the entire match and just use the other characters as assists. So it makes learning the game kind of a lot easier, because right now I haven't really touched any of the other characters on my team other than for assists.
That's the biggest
really
thing.
Interesting to me, because both when you're fighting CPUs and generally when you're fighting people online, people don't swap out their characters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it is interesting to be like, yeah, you can play it just like a normal fighting game with assists, but it feels a little like a missed opportunity to me to like not be like, oh my gosh, I was fighting Iron Man and now I'm fighting Black Panther, because it's you just do it, but also I'm such a novice to this that I don't really know what a missed opportunity is in terms of this genre.
I think as you get into like when you watch higher level players, they're definitely going to do some tagging in just for the sake of combos and stuff, but I think it's also because you have this system where during the first round of a match, you don't have access to your full team. And I think that it can make sense from whatever they're going for of like slowly building up your roster and stuff and making it eventful. But I think for a lot of players, I think part of it is just like people are confused about who they have access to when. So I think they're just kind of defaulting to like my first assist and my base character.
Yep.
Like those are the two that I know how to use. So I think the third and fourth characters are basically kind of ignored for most people until they figure out like, okay, how can these work together? Because you can definitely spam multiple assists in the same combo. But yeah, I feel like the structured systems feels like an interesting midway between we want to give people who know how to play these games, the sickos, like kind of all these options where you have, you can have up to 3 assists come in during the same combo and swap out and stuff. But for the average player, we just kind of want to have like an ease of use starting point. And I think this is a pretty good one where it's like, okay, you have some assist. Everyone kind of has a very similar like base combo that you want to do where it's like some hits in the ground, launch them, some hits in the air, and then the last one spikes them down. And like the most kind of like technical thing you can do is when you hit that last hit that spikes them, you just call in the assist. Yeah. And like 9 times out of 10, they'll land the attack on the person falling down, and then you can extend from there, right?
Yes.
And like most characters have this with some exceptions. So that has a pretty good starting line. I do feel like it's less so far, and I haven't played a ton of like online matches yet, but there's less interactivity in the combos, and this is compared to something like Guilty Gear, which has like the burst system, where it's like if you're getting comboed, you burst out of the combo, and that's kind of like your one get out of jail free card. Marvel 3 had this system where you could do these like, I forget what they're called, but like you can do a thing where you can extend a combo by bouncing the character up or like in one of 4 directions, and if the opponent guessed right, they got out of the combo. So here you're mostly just watching your own combo meter and hoping that like, okay, it fills up, now I can get out of the combo. If they drop it, you can kind of exploit that. So, and some of these combos can get pretty lengthy. I had the pleasure of being comboed by like someone who really knew how to play the game, because you can ask at the beginning of the game, they ask you like, what kind of player are you? Have you played fighting games before? Are you really good at them? Or like, what's going on? And I chose like, yeah. And then like my first match was someone who just like knew, like was extending the combo by swapping characters. They had like Blade, like doing stuff all over the screen.
Awesome.
And so I was like, okay, I'm just kind of sitting here and like, hey, shout outs to that guy. He knows what he's doing. Great for him. But like, I didn't get to play the game,
Yeah, I do think, I think stepping back a little bit, it's like, I think fighting games people are intimidated by, rightly or wrongly. And I do think when this game was first announced, I was like, well, I like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 a lot. Even 3 characters is overwhelming. So the idea of like having 4 characters in this game is probably going to scare away a lot of people, even if they are more open to Marvel, as an IP and all that stuff. But like, like y'all mentioned, I do think it is really, really helpful just to frame that idea of like, you got one character. If you want to focus on them with just assists from other characters, you hit X, they can come in, do an attack. Great. It'll look flashy. And the biggest thing is like shared health bar. So it's not that you're managing 4 characters. You could see it as managing 1, and then every time there's a screen break, then you get another character added to your roster. But realistically, if you want to ignore that and focus on 1 with just assists, it's going to be a very flashy, not that intimidating game. Like Nick, you mentioned Smash fans into it. Like, yeah. It does feel like Smash in certain ways. Dragon Ball FighterZ, Arxis's game from 2018, also felt a little bit like Smash. I'm like, you know what? If you hold one button and hit a direction for R2 or whatever, you're going to see some cool stuff happen. There's going to be a lot of auto combos here. You can spam the circle button. You'll see flashy, cool stuff. And so I do want to just like lower that temperature for people who are scared.
Yeah, it's like not only are you not doing, you don't have to do any like quarter circles in this. You don't have to do kind of that kind of thing. But it's like if you hit any of your attack buttons, your character will do a pretty cool looking, reasonably damaging combo that it will automatically ult for you. Like if you have the bar for something, it'll just like lead right into that. And so what's been interesting about playing this for me is like, I am not struggling with feeling like, oh, I can't do anything. It's like when I get an opening, I get to pop up the enemy and put them down and do all sorts of shit. But like, it's more because everyone has such ease of access to it. I feel like it's even harder to defend some, where it's like everyone's stuff comes out so quickly that I do, even against people who I feel like reasonably well matched against.
Yeah.
You do just spend a lot of time getting juggled in this game. You know, it's like dudes who I will like, you know, I've won 2 matches against and then gets a combo off on me. And I'm like, I'm just sitting here for 30 seconds while he like slams me against the wall and into the thing. And it's like, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is weird of just like, yeah, you just kind of sit there and take it while someone hits buttons against you, even if they're not, you know, even if they're not a pro, they're going to hit buttons and a bunch of things are going to happen.
Yeah, this is I think kind of an issue writ large with a lot of tag games and to some degree with ArcSys games where the kind of like the mental burden of figuring out defense is a lot higher than offense. So there are like ways that if you're blocking an attack, you can call in an assist during it's called like crossover counter or something like that, where like another character comes in defense for you and there's like a way to counter that and stuff. But like that is like all in the realm of things you have to go into the training mode or like the tutorial to actually figure out versus like someone who can just, you know, who can match the auto combo or just learn one basic combo that involves an assist. And so keeping your defensive options in mind is a lot harder than actually just trying to like mash out of someone's offense. And that's going to get you killed because it's like the way combos work. It's like it's very rare that a combo string is unsafe on block. And so you're kind of just waiting for the opening versus just like punishing stuff. So I think, that kind of defense stuff and there not being a burst definitely feels like, okay, well, they can just keep looping this kind of setup where like, oh, at the end of the combo, I'm on the ground and they can either do an overhead, a low or whatever. So I'm kind of always just guessing. It's a combination of like this being an anime fighter and also being a crossover game where it's just like offense is so much more highly favored than defense.
Yeah. Yeah. Nick, are you digging the game? Where are you at overall in this thing?
Yeah, I think I'm loving it. Like last night I ended up playing some random player online and I think we went first to 20. But I think I ended up, it took us like 2 hours and we were just playing, I just played casual matches, just randomly matched up with someone. And I think our end score was 20-6. So like I got so into it. I just sat in the same spot on the couch for like 2 hours and I was just so locked in.
That's fun.
But
did you play as Blade and like juggle the hell out of anyone? For, like,
no, my team's actually, I used Penny, Loki, I think Star-Lord now, and then Doctor Doom. And I picked Penny before the game came out because she is the closest thing to Faust in Guilty Gear, and that's who I main in Guilty Gear.
Okay.
And for people that don't know Faust, he's probably like the worst designed fighting game character because in fighting games you want to be as consistent as possible, but his quarter circle forward, he throws out like trash on the screen. And he has like 1 of 9 items that he can randomly throw out, and they could either help you, hurt you, or like help or hurt both you and the opponent. No. So like one of the items could be like a meteor, which is the best one, and just a meteor comes crashing down on the screen and hits your opponent. Another one could be like a donut, and both you and your opponent can pick up the donut to get health. Another one could be like a trumpet, and if whoever gets a trumpet gets like an army of minions that just attack the other person. So once Penny was announced, like she has somewhat of a randomness to her, not to the degree of Faust, but her unique action is she throws 1 of 6 different gadgets. And all of them except one hurt the opponent. There's one that's a bomb, so like whoever hits the bomb first can explode, and it ends up hurting you. But yeah, like I said, like I just got into a match last night, and we just kept playing. And I think that's what this game does really well. Like going back to what you guys were saying, I think it's great for beginners to get in because again, you're going to do cool, flashy stuff just by hitting the light attack over and over and over again, or the medium attack over and over and over again, which is so nice because like I'll play with my friends that only have like a couple hours on the game and I have like dozens of hours already, and they're hitting me and I'm like, oh, that looks cool. Obviously I know it's not the optimal combo, but like they're still getting damage done and still putting up somewhat of a fight, which is nice. But yeah, I'm having a blast with it. And the thing is, I'm not a Marvel fan. Like I know we were talking about Marvel before the show, and I still haven't even seen last night I was counting the amount of Marvel movies that I actually saw in theaters. I think it's less than 10. Like I haven't even seen Endgame at all. So like my experience with Marvel is very little. And my first Marvel fighting game was actually Marvel Infinite, which I love. Outside of like the visuals, the character selection, the story, like everything's terrible for that game besides
Right.
the actual gameplay.
Oh,
like
okay.
the gameplay is very good.
That's
But
what I
everything
said.
else,
You must be the one, right? Because it's an infinite. Like people don't like that game, right?
They're
it's
trying to
bad.
redeem
Like
it.
the gameplay
yeah.
is solid, but everything else is just like it's terrible. But yeah, when this was announced, I was like, oh my god, this is like a dream come true because it's an Arc Sys game, and I fell in love with Arc Sys all the way starting with Dragon Ball. Like I'm new
Yeah.
to their games, and this game feels like a sequel to Dragon Ball.
Yes.
Because Dragon Ball is coming up on like the 10-year anniversary. I think next year, the year after that, Dragon Ball Fighters. And it's just crazy they haven't made a sequel to that. But I think there's been issues behind closed doors or something like that, where maybe Bandai Namco doesn't have a good relationship with, I guess, whoever owns the IP for Dragon Ball. I heard something like that. I don't know how true that is.
Who knows? But
But
also,
yeah,
it's
Yama
like,
passed away recently. Maybe that's a factor.
yeah,
Who
there's
knows?
it's something messy behind
also,
the
isn't there
scenes.
something
But
like
yeah,
what else could they do? Like they've added just about every character to fighters.
They've
Like
added Goku 7 times.
Yeah.
What else
there's
is
too many
I
Gokus.
mean-
Yeah.
it's tough to top, I think, at this point. But yeah.
But yeah, so some of the complaints with Dragon Ball Fighters, I think they took away in this game, which is nice, where you can't super dash to someone. And in Dragon Ball Fighters, all you do is press one button and you instantly fly to the other person. Like, so you can just travel across the screen, which is not typical for fighting games. Usually you have to space out and kind of work your way in. They also took away in Dragon Ball Fighters, when you grab an opponent, you can force switch another character out.
Right.
And obviously they're not going to have this for this game because at a beginner level, they really just want you to focus on one character. So that would be kind of messed up. It's like, hey, I'm going to grab you and then I'm going to make you play your worst character, which is not the case for this game. But yeah, all in all, like I'm loving this game. I'm having a really good time.
Yeah. I think the biggest surprise for me, character-wise, is like, because I went into it, I'm like, I don't know, Storm is always a favorite of mine. I guess I gravitate here. And then I was like, I think the weirdest person on this roster, the most out-of-place person in my mind at least, is like Green Goblin? There must be a reason why they chose Green Goblin. And then I was like, he's freaking fun and nasty, and being on his glider by hitting R1 and be able to like fly around the screen, like he's my favorite out of the batch so far, I think.
Okay, but can we
Yeah.
talk about the danger room?
Yeah,
As a
danger
lady?
rules. Hell yeah.
Because is that an original character for this?
No,
game?
no, danger exists in
Okay,
the comics.
danger room and danger has been a thing.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like I think the roster is very cool in general. It's awesome that Penny's in there. I mean, it's like the first time you see Penny's character model,
Yeah,
and be like,
it's awesome.
it's literally 5 times the size of everyone else. It takes up like the
Yes.
half of the screen she's standing on. But then, yeah, it's like their Black Panther being Shuri
Yeah.
is cool. But then like Danger, who's a character who I have no attachment to at all, like trying to play her and just being like, she feels really fun to play. Like I am having the fighting game thing of like, I'm deciding that I like this character based on the first 30 seconds of playing her and just
Yes.
being like, oh, her special move is she like glides really fast and she gets to there and then she can, shoot lasers or whatever, is like, yeah, it's
That's your mark.
I
That's the like, okay, I like this character because they're in the crossover game, not because of whatever is going on outside of it.
Yeah.
yes, totally. But it is like, I have been like almost avoiding the standard, like Captain America is the guy that they have you do all the tutorials with. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to play as him just because I want to try like the weird guys.
Yes.
And then, but trying everyone, you're like, oh, here is a cool thing that they can do that makes them feel distinct and interesting.
And even Cap, like, it just makes me laugh how Dragon Ball this game is and how anime it is, not even including the fact that Deadpool comes out with Cell's charge up animation directly from Dragon Ball Fighters, which is fun. No, but just like Cap yelling his moves, I think it's so fun when he does this big ultimate, he's like, living legend! Or the one that kills it, where he just screams, he goes, this is a battle for the American dream! It's like, hell yeah, it's so cool in a dorky
Yeah,
way.
and I think they do a good job of most characters, not everyone, has like this interesting mechanic or meter. Like Ghost Rider has this heat meter where he has to manage how hot he is, and different moves kind of build up that heat and other moves remove it. But I think in general, they do a pretty good job of not making that stuff too overwhelming. Like I'm surprised that you're like Green Goblin is probably one of the more complicated characters with the glider.
It was easier for me. It's
Bombs
weird
and
you say
stuff.
that. I don't know.
Yeah. But I was watching someone, a streamer named Diaphony or Diaphone, I forget how it's pronounced, but they were making this video of like ease of use for the Marvel characters. And he had originally started with like 5 tiers or 6 tiers or whatever. And as the list went on, he just kept saying like, well, it's actually not that hard. This character is simpler than I thought it was going to be. And he kept condensing like the complexity list of like the tier list. I'm just like, actually like half the roster is in like easy or moderate. Like there's very few characters that are like quote unquote for experts only, right?
Right.
So I think it's because sometimes you'll get into especially like ArcSys games where it's like I like the character, but I feel like they're a little overwhelming for me to play.
Yes.
And I think this is a pretty good job of avoiding that.
And also, I feel like we're kind of bearing the lead. We're like, I think this game looks so good. I think the style is awesome. Even like the menus, the presentation, kind of like that blueprint scribbled on look. And then like every character design's like, yes, I understand Marvel fatigue, but it's like, you know what? I've never seen Iron Man look like that. Like every character I think is just so well designed.
And
I feel like
there's such a good reference, or like he makes such iconic fighting game references that like every time I see something, I'm like, I can't believe they put that in this game. Like even though like there's a lot of ArcSys references, obviously like Guilty Gear ones, but like there's references to Tekken, Soul Calibur, Street Fighter, like everything.
He has a Falcon Punch.
Yeah,
Deadpool has a Falcon Punch. It's the
so
only
good.
time I've liked Deadpool in a video game. I was like, oh my god, they're winning me over on Deadpool? I thought this was impossible.
I feel like he should have been voiced by Neil Patrick Harris. I think he just would have done a better job than Nolan North.
Yeah, I think they do a pretty good job of implementing. Like that was the case in Marvel 3 as well, where there's like one of his supers, he just started beating you up with the health bar.
It's so good. It's so
and,
good.
And Nolan North did the voice then too, so it's like he knows from Deadpool. So
yeah, absolutely. And like, okay, we should. You mentioned a little bit, Jacob. Online matches seemed like the place to go. I think like the character lessons I think are really handy. There's really convenient tutorials in here and stuff. The episode, as they call it, like the story mode, I was really disappointed by just with like the pacing. So basically the way it works is like there's a big overall story, and then you can choose from the 4 or 5 different teams for like which storyline you want to see. Like, okay, here's the Avenger storyline, just kind of the Spider-Man group storyline, all that stuff. But that just means it's the same kind of like template cutscenes as far as I can tell. And then there's kind of little comic book animated sequences in between those. And just like when you just let it run, the pacing is just excruciatingly slow.
I think you're underselling it a little.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. It is like every time you start it, you are. Oh, sorry, my dog is having a dream next to me.
Good.
Every time you start it, you do see the same kind of intro sequence, which I should say, very nicely animated.
Yes.
Looks
awesome.
like worth watching, just as like if you like anime theme songs, watch this. And then it is the same, but like I think that if I was handed these as a stack of comic books, I think I would be like, I like these. Like I think they're decently written. I think the art in the comic books is pretty good, like the whatever. But I do agree on the pacing, because it's like, I don't mind visual novels at all, but if there's a visual novel where you're kind of having you get to play a fighting game dangled in front of you,
Yes.
then it makes getting through that feel like busy work. And oftentimes you're not even doing like a best of 3. It's literally just one round that you get to play. And so it's like, oh, I get to play the fighting game for like 30 seconds.
Right.
And then I have to go back and read more of this comic. And so it's like, I'm curious to where the story is going. I've started the X-Men one and the Spider-Man one, and the Spider-Man one is fun, where it's like the team is like Spider-Man, Penny Parker, Star-Lord, and Miss Marvel. And it's like, that's a fun pair up, and I like how they're writing them. But it's just kind of like weird to be like, I'm going to read for a while, and then I'm going to get to play one match.
Right.
And then go back to reading.
Yeah, tell me you've never played a NetherRealm game without telling me. Like, yeah, that's basically what the NetherRealm story modes have been for a long while.
Well, but not like the comic book presentation.
Yes, like the
the
production values are much higher,
Yeah,
right? But like
yeah.
it's the same basic setup of like you watch some story happen, then you play a match, and then you watch more story happen, right?
But it's like, I like the Mortal Kombat story modes.
Yeah.
Like I think that
difference
they are more compelling than this.
Yes.
And it's then I guess the kind of bad feeling is accentuated by like it doesn't have like a traditional like ladder single player mode. Like it kind of has like tournaments where you can just kind of like play a random sequence of enemy teams in a row, but like I kind of want I want something that feels even just a little tailored. And this is just like, pick a random team and you'll fight against random guys.
That's the arena you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there is.
Because it's like
what you might be looking for is, I think, the survival thing. I think you can go past like 100, but like if you hit 100 in that, I think you unlock colors. I think that's the reason for playing the survival mode and then playing the story mode, because after you beat the story mode, you get colors for the whole team, and then you unlock the champion and you get a secret stage. Because I kind of just like brute way forced myself through it last night, because I was like, I'm not finding this interesting. I just want to get the unlocks and go back to playing multiplayer.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done the survival a little, and the survival is literally just like you were going to play match after match after match after match, which is fine because the game is fun, but it's like, it really just, I don't know. I want something that feels like it's like, I want to play through a Blade sequence.
Yes.
Where it's like you just do this, and then maybe, even just being like, and this in this round the enemies are stealing health from you. The vampire curse has reversed or something. Just like anything, and it really feels like every piece of it is just kind of here's training for the multiplayer.
Yeah, I think that this is why I kept thinking about like how I guess I'm just fatigued of this kind of story mode, and I think in this game it's even worse to some degree because it doesn't follow a narrative through line. There is, every time you pick a new character, new team, it's like, what if they won the tournament versus like, okay, you ended the the Avengers chapter. Now you're moving on to the Marvel Guardians or like the Amazing Guardians. And now it kind of, those two stories don't follow each other. They're just kind of mutually exclusive to some degree.
I actually didn't realize that. That is a bummer. I thought they were all connected.
Yeah, because like I played the Avengers one, and then and the Avengers win against the Amazing Guardians, so now they get to fight the final bad guy, and it's the opposite in the other ones, right? So it's more of like a story fight arcade mode in a weird way. But yeah, I feel like I'm kind of at a point where it's like I want something more gamified, and I think Soul Calibur did a really good job of this, where their story modes would have like 6, for example, had like the very like NetherRealm-y kind of one, but they also had this thing called Soul, I think Master of the Soul or whatever, where it was like this single player campaign where you have the kind of fights that you're talking about, Jacob, where it's like, okay, the arena is icy in this one, so you're sliding around, or this character can only be hit by low attacks, so you have to use lows. And then you had a thing where like you would get points and upgrade your character, and like eventually you had all this super overpowered character. And I think people were that mode was definitely mixed, but it felt like the most substantial, like, okay, you have a lot of stuff to do, and it feels like a game in its own right. And I think Street Fighter 6 did this as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like I want fighting games to move on from like the very story centric outside of the NetherRealm stuff, because they do it better than anyone else.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been a problem with Arc Sys games, where it's like the Guilty Gear Strive story mode, for example. It's just like you just watch cutscenes the entire time. There's not even any fighting going on. So it's just like, here's a mediocre like 2-hour anime. But yeah, like I think like single player stuff has always been a struggle for fighting games, and I outside of the survival stuff, there isn't a ton to sink your teeth into, and I feel like it's just kind of them just funneling you into multiplayer.
I think you guys are not giving enough credit to Arcadia Rumble, where you get to be weirdo chibi versions of the characters, and it's basically smash run, and you go around and like get your power-ups.
I cannot express the disappointment that I felt when I clicked on that, and I was like, it's this?
It's so weird.
I'm playing as a fucking Funko Pop?
It's like, yeah, for a game with incredible art style, it's like, what if we just shook it up and had a different art style? And it's a very Arc Sys thing of having like kind of the hub area, like with the kind of chibi approach, but it feels so out of place. I'm happy it's there as something weird, but it's like, all right, I don't think I'll be going back to you. I'm sorry, Arcadia Rumble.
It does preserve the single player fighting game thing of when you're doing the tournament. I've been playing on normal, the mode for a normal man, and I get through and I'm like doing good. All these guys going down pretty easy, and then just the last one in the chain is like 3 times harder than all of the other ones, and it's like, they block now? I don't know what to do with this. It's like, it hasn't been, it's them turning the dial from like difficulty 4 to difficulty 5 is like the biggest jump in the world.
Yeah. We should mention too, They're patching it. They're frantic. The PC version launched in a really rough state. They're slowly trying to get it up to par.
I normally would have got this on PC and was like, well, guess I'm not doing that because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I've been playing it on PC and haven't encountered that many errors, but I think I also have a higher spec PC, and I think the problem was with like CPU bottlenecking. But compared to the beta, it feels like they now you can preload shaders. You have the option. You can opt into having the shaders compiling ahead of time instead of it happening in real time. So I haven't had that many technical issues, but yeah, I think a lot of people are upset with like having to log into PSN every time, which I happened to, because I was out of town, I played it on my desktop and then I had to play it on my laptop. So I had to do the login both times. So even just setting it like first time setup, if you're offline, is tricky. The PC version is still kind of a little bit behind, but I don't know. I've been enjoying it. And you don't have to have PlayStation Plus to play it on PC.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm curious as to what their long-term plans of it are. I know that they already have like a season pass, so they have to do one of those. But yeah, it's I think one of the most fun things about fighting games at this scale is that like the Marvel name is just attracting people who wouldn't otherwise care, and just seeing like people who I follow on Blue Sky and stuff saying like, I'm playing Marvel. Like I have a Discord set up that I'm playing Marvel Tokon on, like if anyone wants to hop in, and just seeing that kind of stuff. And it also happens with like the fighting game community stuff. Like there is, for example, Leffen, who is a famous Smash player, started playing Dragon Ball Fighters, when that came out. And that was like a game that combined a lot of different fan bases. And now you're seeing that more where like, one of the people who I follow for Deadlock streams was like, I'll check out Marvel Tokon, because one of the Deadlock streamers had done a 2XKO tournament with like content creators, and she had been one of those people, and she's like, I think I'm into fighting games now. And so then she started playing Marvel Tokon. So that's another kind of crossover that these games tend to happen. But yeah, I don't think it's as deep as like something like Guilty Gear. I did find myself wanting to play Guilty Gear as I was playing it sometimes, but I think there's enough here that you can sink your teeth into it and not feel like, okay, well, you don't need to have like an off ramp to another fighting game. This feels like it has enough there right now.
Yeah. Hell yeah. You gonna stick with it, Nick? Gonna stick with it, Jacob?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, especially because I think like my area, at least for my tournaments, I think there's going to be a good amount of people playing it. And that's always the best, just playing in person, because when I play online, even with my friends, and one person's bodying the other, we kind of go silent at times. Mm-hmm. And it's just like when you hear like a sigh or frustration, but like playing in person, it's like you always joke and you're always having a good time. So yeah, I think I'll be sticking with it for a while.
Hell yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think I am. I think this is probably, it's like I had a lot of fun with it, but it's like because there's no real single player to speak of, it's like the next step up in competency requires such a time investment for just being like, I'm better at playing this multiplayer game, that I just don't think it really fits with how I play games. Yeah. Like
you'd rather go and read the danger lore, right?
That's right. Hey, I'm reading the danger something. But it's just kind of like, it's a real time investment genre. You get out of it exactly the amount of time that you put in.
Yes.
And that, when it's like, do you want to do that, or do you want to play a new game that just came out? I think I'm going to pick the new game option.
So you're saying a new game like Agent 64, Spies Never Die, the newest, freshest, hottest release out there, cutting edge in every which way. All right, there is a fun thing happening where Agent 64, Spies Never Die just came out on Steam, and it is the ultimate kind of throwback love letter to Perfect Dark and GoldenEye. And then also Wild Blue Skies just came out, which is the ultimate love letter to Star Fox 64. And so there's a lot to unpack here.
The Switch Star Fox? It's a throwback to...
Yeah, that's right. Do you remember earlier this year? But Agent 64, Spies Never Die. I'm curious for everyone that jumped into this thing. Kyle, like, what do you think about this as someone who has a sweet nostalgia for N64 shooters?
Yeah, I love GoldenEye. I actually never really got into Perfect Dark.
Nobody's perfect. except for Joanna.
Yeah, it was. You know what it was actually, to sidetrack real quick, is I would always go to Blockbuster to rent it, but you needed the expansion.
Oh,
pack,
right,
like, do anything worthwhile with it. So I'd always just get something else. So I just never really played it. But I love GoldenEye. GoldenEye's a huge one for me. And yeah, I played the first like 1.5 levels, and I was very charmed by it. It knows exactly what it's trying to do. It's not even trying to modernize. Like the first character you see is like that awkward what's the term that I can't remember, where you apply an image to like a 3D model. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Why can't I think of the word?
I don't even know if there is a word. I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah.
Anyway, it just looks like GoldenEye, right? It's like it's just like a low resolution picture of a face pasted onto a 3D model, and like the character is like literally playing N64 in the opening cutscene.
It's very
and
on
you're just
the
kind of
nose.
you're kind of like an old man, which is weird. You don't look very cool, but I mean the camera spins around and zooms into the back of the head. And like you have dual analog controls, so it's like modern, quote unquote, in that way. But I mean, characters like roll in the way. They all have similar death animations when you shoot them. It feels like a very specific throwback in a way that I was very charmed by and had a good time with.
Yeah, it is. It's like, I hate to be a simpleton, but I'm like, you know what? This makes me happy. It makes me remember N64 shooters that makes me happy. And like, I was expecting it to be much more of like, all right, GoldenEye. And then you start and it's like, oh, this is Perfect Dark's opening level. There's a lot more Perfect Dark in here than I thought, including like your old guy's daughter is a big character in the story as well, Dana, and she's the hacker. And it's like, okay, then this is the Joanna Dark. It's like, what if James Bond was as old as a Sean Connery and then he had a daughter who was Joanna Dark? Is kind of what they're doing here. And so this is...
it's a little bit too long for the title, so they went with...
Agent 64 Spies Never Die. They get the job done. But yeah, this is developed by a solo dev. D6 is the name they're going by. And it's like, it's just cool to have like, you know, a game that was made relatively quickly back in the day with GoldenEye, but from like a decent sized team back in the day. And now it's like, oh, tech has gotten to a point where a single developer can spend years of their lives, to be fair, but then they can make a GoldenEye Perfect Dark throwback experience with like online multiplayer. And there's like a lot of little modes, co-op campaign stuff in here as well. Is another little homage to Perfect Dark. Like they try and pack as much in here as possible in a charming way. However, there is like, you play it, I don't know if you guys had that same thought of just like, oh yeah, that's right. It turns out the music for GoldenEye and Perfect Dark is, I'd say 50% of the enjoyment of those games. And when you don't have that soundtrack, it's like, all right, my nostalgia is holding up. I don't know if the gameplay necessarily does, but it turns out I just like being young for a good chunk of it.
I mean, the other half is being able to stop and aim, which you don't need when you have mouse controls or dual analog stick. It gives you a little zoom, but it's like, yeah, I was surprised by like, oh right, that really was all this was. It's just like it was a James Bond shooter that worked on console, but it's like I had the most fun out of it by like treating the levels as time trials versus like these like levels that you explore. So it's like, oh, getting a good time, and like the different difficulties do have the GoldenEye thing of like the harder you make the game, the more objectives you add. But I haven't gotten far enough into the game where like those objectives add too much meaningful like layers to the level where it's like, oh, this would be so much easier if I didn't have to do this specific thing. Though I will say one of the optional objectives for whatever reason was like just get through this, like open the hatch door or whatever. And I just like my frame of mind for this game is just like anything that you can shoot, you should, because there's like exploding barrels, even like you'll find like, I don't know, library shelves or something. You just shoot them and they explode for whatever reason. But so I just shot this box on the wall and it's like objective failed. You need to use that box you destroyed to open the hatch door. And I was like, all right, you got me. I shouldn't just shoot everything I come into contact with.
I suppose.
But I'm hoping that like higher difficulties make more significant changes. But otherwise it's like, yeah, it was more of a doomy, like how fast can I get through the level and stuff versus like feeling like, oh, this is the James Bond experience that I wanted, which is like, I like this. I don't know that I'm going to stick with it too long.
Yeah, it's like, I do think for different objectives, they eventually gate you on like, you need to find a certain number of ciphers in the level, kind of like secret little things and stuff. So if you're just sprinting through it, you might be missing something, and eventually they'll be like, oh, actually go back and find those, which is a little bit of a kick in the gut.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing always to me. Like GoldenEye is not a game that holds up, in 2026. But like the thing that was unique to me at the time, beyond it's like, oh, this is like a functional first-person shooter on console, was like the levels felt open-ended in a way that I wasn't familiar with yet. Yeah. Right. In sense that it's like, yeah, you can just run through the end and shoot everybody, but like you got to stop and do things, and there's a list of things that you have to do. And like even it was nice to sort of like have that again in a weird way. Like they honored like making sure I got the briefcase or I put the tracker on the helicopter before I exited the level. Like that kind of stuff is charming, you know, and it's still cool.
Yeah. Nick, was Wild Blue Skies a little more up your alley, with Star Fox 64 being your favorite game of all time, to have this throwback homage to this thing?
So playing it, I was just, maybe it was because we got the remake so soon, but I was like, I don't know what Wild Blue Skies is doing differently than Star Fox. It might be a little too like on the nose, I want to say. Like you start off and it's just like you have like your General Pepper, you have like your backstory. It's like, oh, evil. Kyle, do you remember the villain's name? Dark Claw or
sounds right.
Wild Claw, right? Actually,
it's something like that. It's like taking over the galaxy, or whatever, and you have to go stop them or whatever. And like the first level,
Grimclaw.
Grimclaw. That's what it is.
Also, texture was the word I was looking for earlier.
Texture. But yeah, you're like the first level. You're flying over water, and your team's flying in. You have like the fox guy, and then you have 3 other companions around you. And the first level ends with like an all range mode, and it's kind of just like reminiscent of the first level. I'm like, okay. And then the next level, it felt a little bit different. And then by the time you got to the third level on like the easy route, I'm like, this looks familiar. Like it's just like an open desert area, and there's like a bomb or I guess like a factory or something in the center of it. And then like you're shooting down enemies in all range mode, and next like 2 minutes go by, and then you have Star Wolf come in, basically. Like if I told you like the beats for this game, you'd be like, oh, you're talking about Star Fox. I'm like, no, it's actually Wild Blue Sky. Like, and the other thing is you can't do like somersaults or U-turns or anything, which was a little odd. The thing I like the most though is how they separated the shoot button from the lock-on button, because in Star Fox it's the same button, it's just A. So like to shoot your lasers, you just click the A button, and if you hold it down, you can do the lock-on. But in this game, they have them separated, and I found myself just eventually just using the lock-on the entire time. I was like, why would I spend my time like constantly clicking to shoot the lasers when I could just lock onto enemies the entire time?
You can in the settings, you can make it so that it auto shoots, by the way, which is nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know that.
It's funny because that's actually something I don't like about the game. I don't like that they separated the buttons, so it's interesting that you can combine them again. Or you can't combine them, but you can auto shoot, I guess. Right?
You can hold down so it just fires constantly. Versus having to press it individually for
the thing that I didn't like is the standard fire on one button and lock on another button. Like I feel like that was limiting. I don't really like having to make decisions. And then I don't know how you felt, Nick, but like the lock on, I feel like the range is not far enough. Like I
didn't feel like it was that far.
Yeah, there's like all these shortcomings that are kind of holding it back.
You guys are cracking me up. As you can hear me chortling on this end of the mic, because it's so funny, because I feel like you Star Fox people are like, look, the remake was good. I just want like
me into this.
You Star Fox super fan. I know your heart.
I like Star Fox. Fine.
Yeah, I know. Oh, fine. It's like one of the most important games of your childhood. Like Come on, man.
I love it. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nick has his back tattoo of Pepe's face or whatever.
Well, actually, I have this. My cousin got for me.
I'm not going to show the back side.
He got me this.
A little body pillow?
Yeah.
Gross. Small. But the idea of like, oh, Star Fox, the gameplay is actually so good. It's not just nostalgia. It holds up. If I could just have new Star Fox content. And I feel like this game is just new Star Fox 64 style gameplay. And it's like, it turns out, I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is it's not even, I mean, I'm being harsh here, but it's not even as good as Star Fox 64. It doesn't feel as good. It like you don't there's limitations for what you can do. Hitting a wall feels really bad, especially in the all range mode levels. Like it is Star Fox 64 without any of the lessons of the last, 20 years, and also not even the lessons they took away in 1997. Like it is and it's like it adheres so closely to the structure that it like pulls those elements into focus. Like the fact that you can't do a loop or a U-turn in all range mode makes it feel really bad. Mm-hmm. And it's like getting away from enemies is just like you just have to like, hold down a shoulder button and rotate, and it's just like kind of dull, So it's like you're right, Ben. It's like, yeah, I love that game, and it's like I like the goal of like we're gonna do like a new version of that, but it feels like it doesn't even like meet Star Fox 64.
Wow, all right.
And they took away. They don't even have the Lane Master sections, which I'm a fan of the Lane Master sections in Star Fox 64. Like, there's only I want to say 6 levels compared to Star Fox 64, where there's 7 on the normal track. Like, they don't even have like extra levels to fill in those spots.
Man, okay. Hey, okay, Star Fox fans. So we should, explain where it's coming from a little bit. This is coming from Chuhai Labs, which was a studio in Japan founded by Giles Goddard, who was a programmer on Star Fox, the original Star Fox. And we had an interview with him on MinnMax's channel a while ago, if you remember. He's also the guy, he was the lead on 1080 snowboarding. And then also, maybe most importantly, he was the guy who designed the face for Mario 64, the opening stretchy face. Like that was his work, and Miyamoto saw it, and he's like, "Hey, that's going to the top of the game." So it's, even if he was not like the director of this game, just to know like that studio that he's the head of, like that has that Star Fox lineage, it's cool for them finally to rip off the Band-Aid and be like, no one's doing this. Nintendo's not doing it. Let's just make our Star Fox. And it just so happens to come out the same year that Nintendo's finally like, and Star Fox. You know?
Yeah, I feel like that's a large part of the reception, is that they kind of have their lightning stolen.
Yeah, but it's weird too, because there's a game called Rogue Eclipse that Outer Sloth is publishing that's also kind of like a Star Foxy homage that's going to be coming out in the very near future as well. So I would think maybe there's a world. Jacob, please.
That game is not as Star Foxy as it is Ace Combat-y.
Ah, okay. Now you're an
Which
expert.
are very different.
Hey, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's like maybe there's that world where everyone who played the Star Fox remake, they're like, I do want more content. And so maybe it's not like the death knell of like, oh, that just came out, but it's like this is kind of new content in that vein. But if you guys are kind of a little bit underwhelmed by Wild Blue Skies, I think that says a lot.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I feel like it kind of to some degree showcases like that sometimes the idea of like, well, what's the Nintendo kind of extra polish? And I feel like that's there in that, like, yes, the basic structure is the same, but there are nuances in that original game that I feel kind of elevated it past kind of what this is. But I feel like, yeah, there's like a base level at which like people are like, well, this is kind of like a Star Fox game, so I'll just play that.
Yeah.
I do think it's funny though that you have a member who is a bull and they call them Chuck.
That's
which is
good.
Which is like calling a horse character Glue.
Right. And I do like the deer a lot.
I like the characters and the performances are good. The sort of the writing. I mean, it's not like this like hugely important element of the game, but like all this sort of dialogue feels like it could be sort of exchanged between characters without really being a problem. Like I don't really feel individual characters from all the dialogue. But I think the performances are good, and I like the character designs, and I like the sort of like visual direction. But yeah, I was unfortunately pretty underwhelmed.
Jacob can't stop smiling.
I'm just thinking about the differentiation in the Star Fox characters of like, okay, we need one annoying guy who's weak. We need one annoying guy who's cocky. We need one annoying guy who's slow.
Yeah, but like you have adjectives that you can apply to those characters. You know, I don't really have adjectives I can apply to those characters, even if annoying is the recurring one. You know,
is deer an adjective?
Kyle, what if I told you that if you beat the game, you unlock the ability for the voice lines to just be the Star Fox 64 quips of like the ba 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 ba.
They did talk in Star Fox 64.
Well,
if you call that
this
English.
is harkening back to Star Fox 32 or this Super
haven't played that
Star
one.
Fox or
Star
whatever.
Fox 16, yeah. All right, there we go. Wild Blue Skies, everybody. It's out everywhere except for Switch for $15, and Agent 64 is $20. It's one of those things of like, if you love N64 stuff, maybe check them out. Maybe when they get a little cheaper in price, it's a funky thing. But hey, you all have been great. But the show goes on, and I think we need a full cleanse. This town needs an enema, as a wise man once said.
In here.
Yeah. All right, you all want to clap at the exact same time? Thanks, Nick. Thanks,
All right,
Ariel.
tag.
Thanks, everybody.
3, 2, Sarah, they're poisoning the tomatoes.
See ya.
The full maneuver. We got Jeff Markiafava here.
That's me.
We got Sarah Pazorski joining the show.
Hello.
We have Haley McLean joining the show.
Swabadoo. Look, I'm such a trad wife. I got a blister from vacuuming.
Oh no, trad blister.
Trad wife alert.
That has nothing to do with being a trad wife, and more
Trad
about a bad
wife.
designed vacuum.
I know. I actually need the button for it.
It would be like a broom made from like horsehair if you were a
That you
trad
made
wife, right?
yourself.
Oh, that's the level. Okay, interesting.
How often does like
Sorry, Ben.
Tradwife stuff? No, I want to talk about Tradwives. How often does that stuff like get in your algorithm? Because it's something that
all
my
the
wife
time.
is always just like, I'm so sick of seeing this crap. Like,
No, it's
I've
so
never seen
bad,
that in my
Ben.
life.
I don't get
It's
it at
so
all.
bad. No, I'm
Ooh.
constantly being dragged down the Tradwife pipeline because I like to garden and I like
that's a
to
mistake.
bake and I just started canning things. And it's the line
canning.
between wanting to do those things and then also not being like, and I don't trust the government for all the drugs they put in my tomato. I'm like, no. I just wanted to make a cinnamon peach jam. And they're like, oh, but like the rebel canners, you can't trust the CDC. And I'm like, no. This is CDC approved canning. This is CDC approved. Like, I'm not a rebel canner.
A rebel
Guys, it's
canner.
genuinely scary. The line is thin.
And do you ever see something where you're like, maybe they do have a point. Maybe I do want to. Maybe I'll
No,
inch down that hallway
I'll
a
just
little
be
bit.
watching and it'll be like a beautiful recipe for like some kind of chutney. And then at the very end, it'll be like, and remember, we can't trust the government and the things they put in the water. And
Amazing.
you're like, what?
Amazing.
I just wanted the recipe.
They're sneaking it in.
Yeah, it's tough to be like, oh, some things, yeah, some things, no. Hey, we got a good crew here, by God. This is a majority of the group that managed to finish Big Walk in a big finale stream that's up on MinnMax's YouTube channel for the 4 hours. It's a public video of us finishing that game if you want to watch it and spoil the game for yourself. Like, okay, here's the thing. I don't think you should spoil the game for yourself because the ending I think is fantastic and I want to talk about it in a
great.
spoiler-free way here. At the same time, I do understand there are those people that are like, I'm not going to be able to get a group together to play through this whole thing. I want to see what this thing is about. And so hopefully that Let's Play up on MinnMax's YouTube channel is giving you a window into like why there's a groundswell of enthusiasm for Big Walk, I think. Do you think we captured
It
it
really
well,
breaks
Haley?
my heart. It breaks my heart to see the comments like, I would really love to play this with a friend group. And like, I feel so bad.
The worst, I saw one where they're like, I can't believe you all got along so well. Like my group like tore each other apart. And I was like, really? That was a model of like
no.
us being in unison? Because I feel like we were tearing each
I
other
feel like
apart.
we were fighting a lot, actually.
Yeah, I think that came up over and over again.
I feel like they need to make like a retro, almost like a MySpace webpage just for like matchmaking people that you could go to if you need like a friends group, but not like any, gross social media like make people actually type out posts and
I've got an idea,
little
Jeff. It's,
funny pictures
It's
and
perhaps called MinnMax Discord, where people are meeting up to play Big Walk.
Yeah, I
Like,
saw
there you
that.
go.
it's actually
Yeah.
probably a pretty good solution. But yeah, Jeff, what do you have? Like final thoughts on Big Walk compared to the conversation we had last week? Like, give me some grand conclusions about this freaking thing.
It was amazing. They do a thing at the end there that just kind of builds on everything that you've been doing in a way that was really unexpected to me
Yes.
and just like so poignant and perfect. And then the actual very ending, like how do you get people to stop playing this once you're all done was just 10 out of 10. Like amazing moment and also amazing game design. It kind of tied back to very early moments in the game in a really smart way and just kind of created this atmosphere that was like super touching and I was not expecting it at all. And it just blew me away.
Yeah. It's how weird that we have a full playthrough of that, and that's all recorded for everybody forever now, But it is just everything of like, why is this sequence making me emotional? It's not like some 200-hour RPG we just played through together, but to actually have like a quote-unquote conclusion of like, all right, no more puzzle time, little squad, bye-bye. It was really sad.
Because it's good at putting you in a place. It's good at making you feel like you actually were present with other people. So to go back to me in Canada going bye, like it did make me feel a little bit sad.
Yeah, it's like, without spoiling it again, it is like that entire kind of finale sequence. About there's like 100% ending, which we've talked about going back to in streaming more. I did see there was one comment today that someone said like, I did the 100% ending and it's amazing. Like, please get back to it. And just like the finishing the not 100%, but just seeing credits ending was like, I do think it's about as good as a game ending can get. And I was running through this Rolodex in my mind of like, what's a better game ending recently? And then immediately there was the blinking red light of like, oh, yeah, Expedition 33 was just last year. And that's a pretty good ending. And it's tough to compare like this apples and oranges, but like Jacob made the Journey comparison. I think it's in that arena.
It's got a good journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something feelings only games can give you kind of ending. It requires nuanced game design to make you feel that weird way at the end of it. You can never just passively watch it and feel the same way.
Right.
But for a game that's that almost looks like Friend Slop if you just see like short clips or whatever. There's a lot more going on in it, and the puzzles are great and everything. But for that kind of game to kind of hit you with an emotional ending that still completely fits with what they were doing, it's not like, they sprung some amazing narrative on you at the last second or anything. Like it fits so organically with what you've been doing the entire time, and really just kind of emphasizes friendship in a way that was just like super impressive. Just my overarching thought of this game has just been continually surprised by like how smart it is, like beneath the surface, and some amazing game design decisions that don't hit you over the head immediately, but once you think about them, it's like, yeah, you guys did that in the perfect way for what you were doing.
Right. And speaking on perfection, Haley, I don't know if you caught New Show Plus this week where we might have gone skateboarding to prove you wrong.
When you passed by the camera on a skateboard and went, Haley McClain! Yeah, I did see it.
Believe it or not, it was in my mind.
I went, I'm living rent-free in Ben Hanson's head.
Oh,
this is crazy.
the torture. Oh, and what a world we live in where so many comments are like, oh, AI, okay, skateboarders, AI. It's like, God, okay, yep, everything's rigged, everything's AI. All right, bye. But thank you for...
Grant's a great skateboarder.
Is
so
it
was
crazy?
Leo. And you were good too. Sorry, that sounds...
I was
were
scared of every incline, but like standing and moving on a skateboard, I can kind of barely do. But like...
Yeah, I was very impressed by everybody.
I feel like I've watched Grant skateboard my entire life, and still, when we meet up with him in that video, and he just tears one off.
He starts on the thing. He starts on the thing and ollies.
What is it? It's too cool for school.
Cool as hell.
And humbly as well. Not a little smirk. Just like, I'm just going to do this quietly. And
he did it in the non-Wonderwall at a party way.
Right.
Where it felt natural and good, which is hard to pull off, I feel.
Right. Anyways, check that out on MinnMax's YouTube channel if you want. Also, Sarah Brzezowski, do you know what you like to do?
Release amazing indie games?
Yeah, which we're going to talk about right after Factor Meals, baby.
Okay. Not that, Sarah, not that.
Nothing.
Oh, gosh, dang it.
It Fields of Mystery number 1 in Sarah's heart. Number 2, of course, is beautiful Factor Meals. Meals ready to eat in 2 minutes. You pop them in the microwave and you say, num, num, num. When you need a convenient meal, Haley, how long you want to spend in the kitchen? 45 minutes? Cook it? Yeah, 0 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes is closer. And Sarah, can you tell me a tale of when you grabbed Factor Meals from my house and I foisted it upon you?
Ben keeps telling us that you
please
take it from his fridge. That's how he phrased it.
He gave it to me once, and it was because he was going on vacation.
Oh, it was going to go bad anyways. He didn't say that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, he didn't mention that part?
No.
He gave me all his Factor Meals. No, I was very impressed with the variety
Did you like them?
of the Factor Meals. Yeah, they were good.
Well, hell yeah. Well, they make chef-crafted... Spend more time bagging on me than talking about the food that was good. Chef-crafted, dietitian designed, ready-to-eat meals so you don't have to choose between real food and convenience. With over 175 banned ingredients, every Factor meal is designed around what supports a healthier lifestyle and nothing that doesn't. Jeff, you're not going to find no lead in these Factor meals, by God.
I hope not, I fear.
good.
Whatever else is banned, it's not in there. Only delicious things in there. They're ready in 2 minutes, require no prep, no cleanup. Every week you'll find over 100 nutrient-dense menu items to choose from. 97% of users agree that Factor meals help them live a healthier life. So you can feel confident that you're doing something good for yourself with every meal. I am delighted every time Factor meals shows up, even if I'm shoving them into Sarah's hands and saying, and enjoy, eat like a queen for weeks. You have everything you need.
The one time that happened.
Mm-hmm. Do you want more or not?
Maybe. Depends on what you got. What you
Well,
got?
with a
What you
sales
got right
pitch
now in
like
your
that,
fridge?
I can't help but
What's
toss
in
it
there?
over to you,
What's in
Sarah. Hey, let's eat real, everybody. Head to factorymeals.com/MinnMax50off and use code MinnMax50off to get 50% off and one free breakfast item per box for 1 year while supplies last until October 31st, 2026. That's code MinnMax50off at factorymeals.com. MinnMax50off at factorymeals.com. You can see the website for more details. Link below to get delicious meals ready in 2 minutes, everybody. Factor Meals, thank you. Ready in 2 minutes, just like Fields of Mistria. Early access, what felt like a mere
2 minutes.
2 minutes ago.
I don't know, it was more like 2 years.
And now they sweep by and it's here. The glorious 1.0 release. Round of applause for Surf Pazorski shipping 1.0 Fields of Mistria. The crowd's going wild. Everyone at home, stand up and clap for the team and Sarah. Here we go. Congratulations, Sarah. Can you compare 1.0 versus early access for like stress of the launch? I don't know. Everything there?
Early access, I feel like, was more stressful because like we had to prove ourselves for early access.
Yeah.
You know, like nobody had played Fields of Mistria before, right? So it was really like, this was our moment. It kind of felt more like a 1.0 launch at early access where it's like, this is where we put all of our resources in. This is where we really push. And then after early access, it was just kind of like releasing updates, you know, like equal like updates pretty consistently. And then it's like 1.0 is literally just another update, but it's the final update for like the completed vision of the game.
Right.
So it's more like early access was definitely a lot more stressful. But then 1.0, it's more like a relief feeling. Like we said we were going to make 1.0, we did make 1.0. All promises fulfilled.
Yep.
Like as a team, we're all still here, we're all still standing. You know, like I like describe it as like early access is like launching a rocket ship into space, and then 1.0 was like landing it back on Earth.
Right. Okay, perfect.
And after you do it, you all step out of the space shuttle, and then you're like, we did it, and we did it, and we're still here, and people really like this game.
Yeah. Yeah. And
was there a point in early access where it kind of felt like it got really popular? Like that's a couple months into launch? Because it really did like become immediately really popular.
It was really popular right away in early access. But then it's like, you know, you see all the comments of people being like, oh, I'll buy it in 1.0, I'll buy it in 1.0. And it's like, will you?
Please
and then we, you know, because,
now.
you know, it's so easy we hear about all these amazing games in early access, and then they just fall off the face of the earth, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like they hit their peak in early access. And I was like, I don't want our peak to be early access.
But it seems like, you know, I don't want you to get into sales data and stuff like that in a big way, but it seems like it was pretty consistent. It feels like more and more people were finding it throughout the early access period, you know? And so everyone's kind of clocking like, all right, when this thing goes 1.0. And I do think this is one of those games now, you know, it's being received very well if you haven't looked out on the internet and heard people talk about it. But it definitely feels like the way people are talking about it is that like, this is just going to be an evergreen go-to.
I hope so.
Don't you think?
That's like my, I fingers crossed hope so, right? Like we hit our max. We like doubled the amount of concurrent players we had in early access at our peak. It hit like 40,000 like concurrent players this last weekend. And it's like, that's just an insane number to like, to see it with your eyes. You're like, oh my gosh, like people really like it. But yeah, I hope it's an evergreen game.
I think so. The same way that, like, you know, Stardew Valley has been. It's been 10 years since Stardew Valley. I know they keep updating everything, but at the same time, it's like when you point to, like, hey, I like games like Stardew Valley, which accounts for, I don't know, 60% of the gaming audience at this point. And it's like, here's kind of, to say the successor is not right.
It's the one that will always be recommended on people's lips first, I think, 100%.
Yes, I think I think it is breaking through, and I think it's just going to continue to snowball from there. Like, Lorch Durden wrote in, just so you know, Sarah, just comparing, like, the total player count for Fields of Mistria versus Halo Campaign Evolved, it crushes it on Steam.
Get him, Sarah.
Like, it's ridiculous, right, to think of.
That's me saying that wearing a Halo shirt. Get him.
Yeah. And so
that's what's so hard to believe, though, right? Is like, it's like an indie game, and it's like, it's hard to see it reflected that it's like absolutely demolishing these AAA games that are coming out around the same time as it. If you're not looking at like the back end data, right? But yeah, been very happy with how it's performing. Yeah,
it's nice. Like Big Walk announced like, hey, we got 1 million sales, and Fields of Mistria right there like, hey, we got 1 million sales. And I think it's just, going to keep on rolling depending on where this thing goes. Haley, all right, Sarah's been busting her butt with the team to make this happen. And then on your end, you've been like staring at an invisible wall saying, I'm ready for the other content to drop, please, for 2 years.
Mm-hmm. I know. Like the last time I played it was almost exactly a year ago. It was like August 24th, 2025 was the last time I touched it before 1.0. And I diligently lifted my hands up and said, I shall wait, because I want to have like a big chunky meaty bit of it to play sort of when 1.0 hits, and I was really excited for it. And I started at 1.0, I was at 70 hours, and now I'm at 90, like 2 or something hours. I love it so much. And there's still so much to do. That sounds like, 92, I'm just kind of decorating only now. Like, no, I haven't hit the bottom of the mines yet. I'm not married yet. Fingers crossed. And, there's still tons of stuff to do. It's great. It's truly one of those, like, I play a lot of these types of games. We're going to talk about another one later on in the show. Yeah. And I've gotten pretty good at telling, like, which are the ones that are going to keep me invested past, learning the mechanics. And this one, I think, number one, the biggest praise I got to give it is, like, the characters are so freaking good in this game. The writing is so amazing. I've never had a repeat, like, conversation with anybody once. Everybody, you can talk to people multiple times a day depending on where they're standing, if other people join them, and then there's a new conversation they're having. There's absolutely so much content in relation to that, and all of the characters, every single one of them is good, which is really damning, because I play a ton of other games and it's like I can't remember a character's name in the game. I'm like, who was the main character in that game? Meanwhile, I know everybody's like birthday and like what they like and like all this, it's very built out, very cohesive, very fun. There's like the underlying layer of magic, which feels fresh and new. And then obviously the thing that everybody kisses its butt for is the quality of life stuff, is just like chef kiss. Simple stuff like you can jump over fences. You think like, Jesus Christ, how are we not at a point where that's everywhere? It's just like, you do it here. And the other thing too is everything's very polished. Like there's a little boing kind of ness to your jump. It's not just a boring kind of one. The sound design's great. There's so much. It's like, so good. And then people are like, oh, Sarah's on our team, we're gonna be biased. I'm like, God, Sarah, I like this game more than you. I said, sorry girl, I freaking love this game. It's so good. Yeah. Like you were saying, it's gonna be the top of people's recommendation list for, I want something kind of cozy, laid back, farming, all that good stuff. It's the perfect one. And the other thing that makes it really easy to recommend too is the farming's not too complicated, which I think is a like real creative choice. There's no fertilizers, there's no quality stars on the crops and stuff like that, which can work sometimes. I like that it's not here because there's so much else to do that I don't want to get too bogged down in, I need a 2-star pumpkin before I'm allowed to pass it into the museum or something. Those added things that sort of just stretch time out. Fields of Mystery doesn't need to do that because there's so much to do.
Yeah. Are you drowning in a whole new wave of feedback, Sarah? Like, is there stuff that with the 1.0 launch you were really looking forward to people talking about?
It's hard because like all the 1.0 stuff is very like late game content. It's like marriage and kids. So it's like, it's kind of been like a slow catch up of people. So it's been more like a bunch of people jumping in 1.0 for the first time and like experiencing everything for the first time. And then waiting for the people who have played it for a while to sort of like catch up, get to marriage, get to kids. Because I think we also have one of the best like weddings and marriages in a farm sim ever, period, that I literally watched one of the wedding scenes and I started tearing up.
What about it?
No, the 8-star scenes are so good. I'd get emotional. Yeah.
The writing is just actually gorgeous. Like, you can design your own wedding. You can pick your flowers, your cake, your dress.
Oh my God.
Like a whole town shows up, and the people who are like your best people, best man and woman are the people who you're closest to or have the most hearts with that isn't your spouse.
Excellent.
And it's like, I was like, oh my gosh. And then they move in with you and they have like all new lines. Like it's like a whole new, which is why it took us so long to get marriage in the game, is because it's like actually quite a large update.
To do it right.
But yeah, getting to see people like play and enjoy this game is so rewarding. And it's even more rewarding to like hear other people mention that they've played the game and liked the game without knowing that I worked on it. Because of course, like the people around me, like you have to say you like Fields of Mystery. Like if you don't, like we're gonna fight, right? Like I'm gonna throw hands,
of course.
So, but then when I hear someone else say it who doesn't know it, like it's like, oh my gosh, wow, like it's really broken containment. It's hard when you're so close to a project to like you're like I know it's good, but then you're like I think it's good. It sounds like you need that sort of like secondary, third degree contact to be like, no, it's like really good.
Yeah.
I liked when I was at GDC with you and people would be like, what games do you work on? You're like, I'm on the Fields of Mystery team. And every single person goes, oh, like it was immediate, like, oh, a good one. That's an indie royalty kind of one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's going to be a Hall of Famer for sure. It's going to go on forever. I know this is a whole GDC talk. Can you give me some wisdom from the marketing? Like, give me, what do you think was it the just details of the game that helped it spread in just the right ways? Like, how do you think you're like nudging it along that you're really proud of like, oh, this is making a big impact for helping this game spread in like the very natural way that it did?
You mean like marketing specific?
Yeah.
I feel like it was acknowledging and like identifying what makes Fields of Mystery so great, which is the art.
Yeah.
It's a absolutely gorgeous game. It's a beautiful game. And you literally just have to put that in front of people again and again and again and again and again and sort of like highlight that to really get them interested, but also just like finding like opportunities of like great timing, right? Like when to do a Steam Next Fest demo is so huge. But also we didn't just put the game out. We like made a specific demo for like, it was like we literally took the game and we made like a 3-day demo that was like a shortened version of like the game's tutorial. So then you don't have to like, you know, because if you're like it, you know, it's like a slow game. It's a slow tutorial, so you wouldn't.
You don't have to like go get your tools.
Yeah, but then also like
fun.
having connections, you know, like getting to do like the Wholesome Direct, not once but twice, you know, and like they've been like such a great supporter of Fields of Mistria, and just like the community at large, right? Because like I know who the cozy farming game community is, and they've been very supportive. But then it's like to break the containment out of the cozy farming game community. Like 10 out of 10. And I think it just shows that like Fields of Mistria is a great game. And so like my job as a marketer was so easy. It's just like, yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah.
Like just look at it. Like literally just look at it.
But then also on that note too, like leaning into the strengths of like the characters and the character designs, like thinking about like key art for Fields of Mystery. You see everywhere. It's like, okay, Celine, just like front and center, get her out there. Whereas like, and look, we're not Jeff, we're not throwing tomatoes to light a candle or whatever. But like when I think like Stardew Valley key art, it's just like, I don't know, a barn. You know, it's just like, but like having just like, hey, here is like the character.
Chicken.
Yes, here's the face of Fields of Mystery. I think is a really smart idea. You kind of need that, I think, just to have it sticky. Be like, oh, that game, that blonde woman, got it.
What do you think now, knowing how like the level of love for all the characters? Would you switch out Celine for another, or would you always have kept Celine as the poster
I think
girl?
it's just like it's always got to be Celine. Obviously, like the secondary one is like March is super popular. So we kind of like flip flop between them. But yeah, I think it's just like, Celine just kind of like represents like what Fields of Mistria is.
Right.
Very well.
Yeah, I think that works. Yeah. So Haley, bonus pod this week is you all raving about the game, diving into the weeds. If you're looking for a lot more, I mean, does
talk about the specifics and we talk about how crushes we have on all the characters, and yeah, that's very good.
Say it proudly. You're in love with them.
Jennifer, I love Jennifer. I love her. I'm in love with her.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. Fields of Mistria. Congrats again. The entire team, NPC Studio.
Yay.
Jeez.
It's honestly like such a dream to get to work on a project like this. Like an indie game that comes around like once every 10 years.
Yeah.
I just feel like being like, yeah, I did it.
Yep. You hit it. You hit it for sure. You mentioned another game you're playing, Haley, called Moonlight Peaks.
Moonlight Peaks.
A little similar. Also spells. Also farming with magic, fair to say?
Also farming with magic, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, what do you think of this thing?
Yeah, I've also played a huge chunk. This was literally my patch, my nicotine patch, while I waited for Fields of Mystery Loki. Because I put like 70 hours into this, and I have like one more thing I need for the museum. Like I was doing 100% of this. It's another one of those that, you know, you play a lot of these, you kind of figure out which ones come to the top, and this is another one I think that is being well received, and I think it merits it. In terms, I usually am not as attracted to the 3D farming sims. I will say I find them a little harder to palette, and I think that's because of scale. I always have a weird issue with like, yo, why is that carrot the biggest carrot I've ever seen in my life? It kind of like takes me out of it. I don't know what it is. It's such a minor thing, but when it's pixel art, I'm like, cute. It's just like part of the art design. Yeah. But this one I think has enough of a design that I'm okay with it. And also the characters here are also quite good. It's, you know, you're Dracula's kid, which is kind of another fun sort of element to it. And your parents are pissing you off, so you leave your castle with your coffin, and then you go and move into this little town where everybody in the town is some kind of magical being. So there's werewolves, there's, you know, other vampires, there's seers, which are just like psychics kind of thing. So there's that kind of additional element to it where sometimes you'll be walking to a shop and somebody walks by and they're a werewolf form, and you're like, that's fun. Like it's like a different flavor, right? It's more of of a summerween, I would say, is kind of what this feels like. You know that weird feeling where you're in between two vibes? It's kind of like that. It gives summerween energy. And I've really been enjoying it so far, hence why I put 70 hours into it. I really think it's one of those ones that does stick out as a better option for such a competitive market of farming sim games.
Yeah, and it's funky seeing it's like there was no early access for Moonlight Peaks. Xseed is the publisher. They just kind of dropped out on the Switch and Steam at this point. But yeah, anybody else been checking out Moonlight Peaks?
I was playing Moonlight Peaks while I was launching Fields of Mistria.
What a weird
This was
combo.
I know. But I was like, I need to play something that's not Fields of Mistria for a little bit. But like what I like to play. So I would just play that will like distract me enough. And Moonlight Peaks is that where it has like a bunch of little tasks that you need to do. But it's so totally different from Fields of Mistria because it has that sort of like summerween feeling to it where like it's just different enough. Like all the farm animals are different. Like there's no chickens. They're like chickens. And there's a little pig that I got, but he's actually just a really grumpy pumpkin.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. And I think he's really cute. So it's just like they did a really good job differentiating themselves from like, you know, a normal farming sim.
Yeah.
All the datables. They have a lot of datables in this game. They have a lot of datables. And it's a little weird because it's like you can date practically everyone in the town almost. But it's like you can date like parents and then you could date children. Like they're all on the table.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I'm like, and you can date multiple people at the same time. You know, so I was like, what happens if I'm like dating this, you know, father? And then when I started dating their father, you talk to them and they're like, you're dating my dad?
Yeah, they acknowledge it.
They're literally like, ew, you're dating my dad. And I'm like, yeah, call me mommy.
Do you bite people in this game?
No, there's like blood wine, you know, they kind of dance around.
Cowards.
I feel like that's fine. I saw someone who was like really upset that there's no like actual
vampire
blood
biting.
drinking. And I was like, why would you want that? Like it
doesn't match here. Everyone's a vegan kind of energy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, everyone's fine. I will say, don't love the bachelors. This doesn't have the greatest bachelors. The bachelorettes are quite cute. I ended up going with Ridge, and he's kind of vanilla, kind of boring.
Everyone, tell me if I'm wrong, Haley. They all seem like they live in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, that feels right.
It's
that same category.
Imagine if all the bachelors and bachelorettes were from the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it gives a little bit.
Yeah, except for Ulrich, who is a raging alcoholic. And you're all about. You've been dating him, and Sarah gives him wine every day. She told me. And I'm like, that's kind of.
I feel bad, because he's like the Shane of this game, right? Like the Stardew Valley Shane, where he's like an alcoholic. But you have to give him his favorite gift, and his favorite gift is just alcohol. So I just keep giving it to him, and I'm like, am I doing like an Undertale thing where like if I didn't give him alcohol, he would get over his alcoholism? But if I keep giving it to him, I'm like enabling him.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I'm also but in my defense, I'm also dating Death.
Yeah, you can date Death.
What?
You can date Death.
That's the lead.
Death,
what are you talking about? That's awesome.
The Grim
Death
Reaper
is actually the easiest to date because he likes every single gift you could ever give him, but he loves trash. So likes Universal, loves trash.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
He's kind of a slut. He easy to get in Death's pants
whoa.
in this game.
I mean, everybody's with him at one point or another. You know what I mean? Jeff, what's up with you? You and your wife. I feel like you always got to have one of these games on the back burner. Have you dabbled a lot this year?
I've only played a couple hours, and like the trailers show all kinds of interesting stuff that I haven't gotten to yet. It seems like there's cross stitching and pottery, and there's a trading card game that I've been waiting
of mini
for.
games in this game, and they're very, very slow. My one complaint is they're very, very slow at unlocking them. Even like going through the main story, I thought was super slow.
Yeah, I didn't get the final. Like, there's different movement forums that allow you to move faster. I didn't get the final one till hour like 65.
Jeez.
And I wasn't being pokey. Like I was doing the main missions and stuff.
Yeah. So like all I've done is like the most basic farming and starting to rebuild my shack that I live in. But like the basic farming feels good, and I'm in the same kind of camp where it's like it's 3D farming sims always seem a little off, and I've been surprised by like the animation is really good and really smooth, which sounds like pretty basic thing, but like I've been surprised how good it looks. Like the visuals feel a little mobile-esque for me, and it's also a weird, like I feel like I'm playing a 6-year-old as I'm playing, just like the art style of the character, and that's gonna be weird when it's like, hey, let's go start dating and stuff. It feels a little different. It feels different from even chibi art style to me. Because it just kind of feels a little bit like this was a game about 5-year-old kids, like made for 5-year-olds to play, or like
interesting,
those stupid pups.
Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol. Like I feel like I'm playing a kid, a Paw Patrol kid running around. It
does look like that kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, but like it works for the sense of humor and like the lightheartedness of it. And I guess I just haven't gotten to fucking death or whatever.
Yeah, well, you know what? We'll all
it's gonna be a little weird.
That's what keeps you around for the late game, yeah.
Yeah, smart. That's Moonlight Peaks came out early July for folks. Also, something that's just dropped, but only the first part, but the other 2 parts are going to be coming later in 2026 and 2027, is the Pokemon Pokopia expansion pass, the big DLC. Haley, I know you've been losing your mind with Fields of Mistria. Just trying to think of like, remember how into Pokopia you were at the top of the year? Like that was your Fields of Mistria at the top of the year.
I love Pokopia. I still love it. It's just, I know myself, and if I pick up Pokopia again, I'll start building another city and spending another freaking 100 hours on the little city. So like literally when Kelsey and Sarah visited my little city, I felt so vindicated because it's like finally people are looking at the stupid stuff I build by myself and no one ever looks at. Like it felt great. But yeah, like, I get very invested and this is just the perfect one. I get to build Score Bunny a house. Oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Like everyone gets a house. It's just it keeps me quite invested. But I have been meaning to pick up the DLC and I just simply haven't had time because my plate runneth over at the moment.
Don't pick it up.
What do you think, Sarah?
Not yet. Well, because I'm playing it.
Yeah.
And it absolutely is everything that the original is.
Don't pick it up because it's too good.
It's one of those things where it's like you can't, like, one doesn't like pick up Pokopia for a little bit, right? Like you pick up Pokopia and you've just decided to not do anything else productive for the entire day, right? Yeah. Like that's how it's hard to put down. So like when I pick Pokopia up, I know it's over. Like don't talk to me, don't speak to me. Like this is what I'm doing for the next however long, and this Pokopia DLC it unlocks the underwater world. Yeah. So it's an entire underwater Pokemon world with all the water type Pokemon. And it's very, I feel like I like it the best because of the swimming. Because the issue that I had with Pokopia was you were constantly, before you unlocked certain forms, like jumping to get higher, jumping everywhere. And here you can just swim. It's like it feels like you're playing creative mode Minecraft.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you can just swim everywhere. And I can't tell if this is like some kind of cope or something that I have, but I feel like the developers took actual feedback about what people liked about the various other Pokopia worlds, and they said, double it, put it in the DLC. Because they had like little things that I liked, like excavating. Like if you liked excavating the volcano, like getting rid of all the ash, you can excavate. They have a huge building. You can immediately all you could do is like dig it out if you wanted to. Because the whole thing is like a city has collapsed under the water. So it's all kind of broken and in ruins and you have to excavate it. And there's just so many weird, like little things to explore. So like there's a lot of like mysteries to find if you're just like floating around the area looking for things. The music's gorgeous. The way the light is filtering through the water, I'm like, this is insane. The way when the sun sets, it all kind of turns green. I'm just like, oh my God. And then getting to see the Pokemon swim, this sounds so dumb, but like I was watching my little Mudkip swim through the ocean. I was sitting there, I'm like, have I ever seen Mudkip swim before?
Oh, weird. Wow.
And he's like, I love swimming in the ocean. And I'm like, yeah, I've literally never seen this Pokemon swim before. Because I've never had a Pokemon game where they've animated the swimming.
So how does it work? Can you have like any Pokemon follow you and they put on a little space helmet? Or is it just like, hey, water only?
They do have some of the homes are like they have like oxygen in them, but I don't think you can bring like the land Pokemon into the ocean. I haven't tried yet.
Okay.
I haven't like fully updated it yet though. Because there is some like dry land in this world. There's some dry land areas and there's some like hidden like caves that have air in them essentially that you could put some Pokemon in if you wanted to. The Smiguru or whatever his name is that like paint stuff, since you have to bring him, he has like a special storyline where like he gets his own air bubble. So he can come with you to the special magical underwater Pokemon world.
Sarah, I mean, I know you've been living Field of Mistria for years, but it's like, is a lot. Maybe this is just what your plate looks like all the time with the deal of like Moonlight Peaks, Field of Mistria going hot and heavy, and then Pokopia, like, okay, just maintenance, sim maintenance. This is the arena you're drowning in. Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
For all these games in my wheelhouse, basically, or just.
Yeah.
It feels good when you're busy to have a game where you're also busy because you get the serotonin from doing things faster than your real job. Mm-hmm. I think that's why I love them.
Yeah,
and the fact
that
I
just did all my crops done
easy, and it's like I didn't need anything else from that. You could just do it yourself entirely.
Yeah, hell yeah. There we go. Pokemon Pokopia expansion pass. Other parts coming out later.
Have they announced what the other parts are? Like
all they said is
Another
part
area.
2. Part 2 will release in late 2026 and will introduce additional new features to help develop your Pokemon Utopia. Oh, that's what it stood for.
Utopia.
Part 3 is coming in 2027, and with it, a new town to explore and rebuild.
I hope there's like a snowy mountain town. Because I like the ice
kind
Pokemon.
of the only one they haven't done. That's a good call.
Yeah, I think.
Can you
makes
put
sense.
like a fire? Can you put like a campfire underwater like SpongeBob, or are they like no?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think you can light things on fire underwater.
That would just simply make sense. But okay.
Whatever. Jeffem, can you tell me what makes sense when it comes to your favorite URLs on the internet?
Patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's.
Whoa, Jeffem! Look at that, serving it up.
I'm trying to come up
Ladder.
with jokes for it, so
I'm very impressed. Go there, find the tier that's right for you, find something sustainable, drop down, drop up, unlock more benefits, unlock less benefits, fewer benefits. Haley was about to correct me with. Whatever you like, go to patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's, find something that's right for you, and special thanks to some of our biggest supporters, people like I Am 8-Bit. They want everybody to know about Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2, the Legacy Cartridge Collection, the 35th anniversary of Sonic that they're celebrating here. You can get that Legacy Cartridge Collection in their wonderful online store. 1 in 8 cartridges light up with Chaos Emerald energy. They say happy birthday to Sonic, and we say that too. And no better way to celebrate Sonic's birthday than by going to I'm 8-Bit's wonderful online store and just celebrating video games in general. They have awesome physical versions of games with amazing pack-ins. They have amazing vinyls, doodads, and gizmos you couldn't possibly imagine. So go there and then throughout oh, you better believe it. And you won't even want more. That's the weird part when you're done shopping at this store. But if you use the promo code IM8Beach, IM8Beach, you will get 10% off of everything under $100. Think IM8Beach, beaches, like what Ariel washes up on when she has legs and she's so ashamed of her nudity.
Have you been thinking about this recently?
No, actually, I haven't.
He's been thinking about this recently.
I don't think
Reminder,
so.
Ariel's 16. Reminder, Ariel's 16 years old.
Everybody, Ariel's 16 years old. Thanks, I'm 8-Bit. Keep them around and support their store because they support the MinnMax community in a huge way by shipping out a prize each and every week to whoever's the best community question. This week, they're shipping out the Gone Home vinyl soundtrack, 10th anniversary edition. To whoever's the best.
Oh my Jesus!
Sorry, it's old as hell. All right, community questions. You ready for these, Jeffem?
ready.
Sucker. Gina Farina writes in. Good name, better question. A common point of criticism I see in video game reviews and discussion is whether or not people feel like a game is respecting players' time or includes video game busy work. Are there any gameplay elements or activities that other people might consider busy work that you personally enjoy? For example, Gina here says, I almost never get tired of running around open worlds and collecting plants, herbs, etc. I know that's something most people tend to have very limited patience for. I get it. If it's a fast animation, I get it.
I like organizing chess. I will always sit my little butt down and organize all my chests. And I really don't, I know everyone hates this. I really don't mind an open world RPG game where I got to go find all the rock carvings or go find there's 20 of these, go find them. And then you get a PlayStation trophy for getting them all. That's kind of my air. I kind of love that. Why do I love that?
Yeah. I just like it when it's like not even scattered, but I can just have like my set time, for like, I'm going to do some seemingly boring activity, but if it's just like an hour and a half and I can just listen to podcasts, I know there's not going to be any story seeping in that's going to distract me from
brain off mode.
Brain off mode. If it's like I want like flashing gates of like brain off mode over here every once in a while, I got no problem with that.
I'm a big sicko for organizing too. And I always have like 10 chests and then you got to move things back and forth between all the chests to figure them out. And just like, I realized early into, I realized a long time ago, but Starfield was a real eye opener where it's like, this game is great because I do what I do in every Bethesda game, which is just kill people and then take all their stuff and then have too much stuff and have to crawl back to store all my stuff in a bunch of chests and then never touch it again. And that's my personal
there just in
sickness.
case.
Yeah, and this is why you need Fields of Mistria inventory system. When you're crafting, pulls from everywhere.
It's very good.
Let's just make that as seamless
Even
as
if you
possible.
go to like the mill in town or something, it just grabs from your chest back at home. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pokopia goes like halfway, where if the chests are like right next
Touching
to the workbench, but then you got ones that are off. It's like I can't limit myself to like 4 chests. What do you want from me?
What do you want from
Yeah.
me? Sarah, do you have one for this?
No, you guys are making me realize that I'm just like normal. Because I hate all that stuff. But like the games I like are busy work the game.
Yeah, that's kind of your main
which is like Stardew Valley, Traveler's Rest. Like I like those games. But like I hate the idea of having to walk around an open world game and find like 20 of X. For what? For what?
For a little trinket.
Didn't you hear the
little
PlayStation
serotonin
trophy?
when the trophy goes bloop? And I go,
It is weird how like when that's the game, it's a different feeling and it's like you've made that social, like contract handshake and you're just okay with it. Retro Rewind was another one where like I was playing that one and it's like I'm just working at Blockbuster right now and I'm loving it for some reason. And you're just like rearranging all the movies on the shelves and it's just the most mundane crap, but
tickles.
I still did it for way too many
Tickles
hours.
my frontal
I don't know.
lobe.
Yeah, everyone needs their frontal lobe tickled.
And there's like a whole, I saw a PC Gamer article on it. There's like a whole glut of games where it's just, here's 2,785 objects and we're just dumping them all on the floor. You're in a bookshop or a magic
Hell,
shop.
you played
or
that
a
game.
game shop. Yeah, and just like put them all on shelves and knock yourself out. So we're not the only ones, apparently.
When I worked at a dental office, I sometimes would just be like, here is a big Excel spreadsheet, fix it. And I weirdly was like, no one talk. I would go in the back room where no one ever walked and I would just sit in there and I would just do that for hours and I kind of loved it.
What? Just
I know.
fix the spreadsheet?
Like, or like just get all the data and organize it with this new system we have. Import all the data by hand into the new system because they're not compatible or something. And I'd be like, everyone get the f*** away from me. I'm about to crank this out for 10 weeks. Get away from me. I don't know what it is. I love it.
Someone needs to make a game like that where it's all retro inspired, but then like contract with people who have actual Excel spreadsheets that need fixing and they could make money off the back end.
Oh, it's like a war game situation or
gamers
something
do
where
it.
you don't know you're actually controlling real world things.
Yeah.
Chandler writes in, when do you think the first good meal in history was? Like with your modern palate.
Bread and cheese.
Bread and cheese. Okay. So
Fresh
Unfortunately,
bread
I am a
cheese.
bread and cheese girl.
I'm with you. I think there might not be anything better
Middle
than bread and
Ages.
cheese. But here's the thing. I mean, Chandler says like, what is it, 1926, 500 BC? Do you think cavemen had good meals? The cavemen, no. They're like eating hair and dirt and crap. I hated those people. We can be mean
Can't
towards
believe we're
cavemen,
related
right?
to them. It's
Oh
so
my god,
embarrassing.
barely like distant cousins probably. But okay, bread and cheese. If Judas himself, Sarah's favorite guy, came up and said like, here's some bread and cheese from 2,000 years ago, do you think your palate would be like yummy, or would it be like this is barely edible bread and barely edible cheese?
I don't think it would be as good.
Peasant bread and cheese,
I don't think
but
it'd be
like
as good.
I'm more aristocratic, maybe bread and cheese. I think would hit
Okay, so
some
like
more flavor. Like right now, you could go buy a really cruddy loaf of bread and really cruddy cheese and eat it, and you're like, this sucks. And then you go buy the good bread and cheese, and it's really good.
but
That still exists.
if it's like fresh bread out of an oven, how bad
Yeah.
could it be? Is my question.
That's what I'm thinking,
I've never
too.
been disappointed once. I don't think, unless
It's like two ingredients.
Yeah, the recipe would have to be so far off.
Sarah's nodding because she bakes
I'm
bread and
not.
she's nodding.
I
My
look
statement.
confused because it's really
Look, it's
Fine, yeast, water, and flour. Three
Love.
ingredients.
Apparently, I mean, Asian cultures were making noodles 4,000 years ago. Search results tell me, and I'm sure they tasted great.
what do you okay, you got a little seaweed in there. I'm trying to think of like, what do you think, what would be flavoring the noodles 4,000 years ago? Like if people were fighting wars
butter.
over salt.
Hanson, salt.
But salt
all,
is
all,
like-
all the
butter.
basic spices that we eat today. What do you think they've changed?
Have you
those
seen
things?
or read Dune? Which is based on history, like the whole spice trade. Like spices were like rare, tough things. Like people were like
Yeah, that's true.
killing their neighbors.
Well, am
for
I
a
eating?
piece
Am
of
I eating
salt.
it from the places where the spices come from?
That's the
Or I mean,
question.
am I
Yeah.
eating it in like Spain, where like they have to import and steal the spices?
Wherever you like? But I feel like you're getting limited spices based on that. You're lucky to have like, oh, we have one droplet of cinnamon, and we had to slaughter our firstborns to get it. I think it's a lot more of that in history. You know, generic history.
I think you don't need spices for bread and cheese. I think bread and cheese, if you got the ingredients, you're making it all over the world, and it's
Yeah.
bread and cheese. And sometimes I'll have bread and cheese. All I'll have is some baguette and some cheese, and I literally role play. I'm a little Renaissance girl,
Me
or like a
too.
Middle Ages girl,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, it's been a hard winter. Oh, and I nibble my bread and cheese, and I literally feel amazing. What is that?
I don't know. It is the simplest thing. I'm totally with you. I remember
Connecting
doing
with
that.
my ancestors.
Yeah. it
Across
totally
our common
works.
fare.
And
of
I
bread
feel
and
so
cheese.
good and full after. Like it's like the best kind of full. It's a simple full.
I feel like there's probably one thing I'm jealous about, right? Is like in the olden days, they probably had like the best versions of like our fruits that weren't like,
Yeah.
raised to be more shelf stable. So it's like, I want to taste like what an actual banana was supposed to taste like.
Right.
Before they all started tasting like
Yeah.
how they taste now. So it's like, I feel like it's like they had that, like they had it back then. And then we started messing with it, and now I'll never taste what like the original whatever tasted like.
But when you say they, it's probably like 0.01% of the world could eat a banana because they couldn't get traveled anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, but I wish I could
Yeah.
eat that banana.
But those freaks were going nuts with amazing banana.
The cheese I'm thinking of is the cheese every film goer is thinking of right now, which is the Cyclops' cheese from the Odyssey. Because he makes bags of cheese.
Wow, guy sees the Odyssey once, and suddenly
It's
every
exactly
podcast
that.
has to have an
Exactly.
Odyssey reference.
Sorry, but we're talking about nasty old cheese. Like, Odysseus seems
Oh,
to like it, but I
delicious
don't
cheese.
trust his palate. He likes
Yeah,
the lotus
but
flowers.
that one historian who hated the movie
Yeah.
also specifically called out that the food looked terrible. So
Yeah,
maybe
you're
in
right.
her mind, it's like they did the food dirty,
Yeah, Emily
and
Wilson
that food
is
was
like,
actually delicious back then.
Yeah.
The other point I wanted to bring up, Hanson, was apparently soy sauce was invented 2,200 years ago.
Okay.
So they had
And that's
flavor.
delicious.
There you go.
Yeah, you're set. So okay,
all you need.
Changing that over
Yeah,
time.
you get some soy sauce on some noodles, zero complaints. Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Craig Brown writes in, God, don't you just hate your voice sometimes? Do you ever just hear your words coming out of your voice? It's like, ugh, I hated the way I said the word
day.
Craig Brown. So Craig Brown writes in, they say, what factors convince you to try a game that on paper is something you wouldn't normally play? Outside of needing to talk about it for work, interesting art style, mixing of genre, twist on the normal gameplay mechanic, what can convince you to try a game that is not in your wheelhouse normally?
A good character creator. And or decorating. You could be like, this is a roguelike, but you can decorate a little room. Like, okay, maybe I'll try it then.
Yeah, good point.
I like
A recommendation from one of you guys is pretty much all it takes.
Jeff, I'm too nice.
Check most stuff out.
Stop
Nice.
it. Come
It's
on.
not like a sweet thing. It's a selfish. I want to play more games. So if you guys say something's good, I'll try it out.
Anybody else played Paranormal Site yet?
Within reason, there.
Okay, cool.
I've been really busy.
Yeah, I mean,
Pokopia DLC came out.
yeah. I'm a sucker for Steam reviews. I still will look at those. It's like that's kind of my North Star.
They'll get me
It's
all
like,
the time.
If it's overwhelmingly positive, I'm like, all right, sorry, I'm going in no matter what. All plows ahead, as they say.
That does work on you. You always go overwhelmingly positive.
I think it's a nice
You're
boost to
pitching
be
something.
like, people are screaming about Fields of Mistria over there. Pay attention, you know?
Yeah.
You got one, Haley?
Haley plays everything. Like I don't think
I play
she
a little
has
bit of
this
everything.
whatever barrier.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think I'm pretty good. There's some, I know, I don't like fighting games. I don't like real-time strategy as much, like Civ games. Even
That's
though I gave them a
turn-based
college
strategy.
try.
Don't get confused.
Oh, you always get mad about this. To
Gone over 1,000 times.
To the point that I'm going to pretend that I was just gaslighting you there just to get you mad. But I give things a good college try, honestly. There's usually nothing. You know, I was kind of the opinion that if enough people in the world like it and it's like it's passed in front of me kind of thing, that there must be something there that I might enjoy. So I give it a try. But for example, with fighting games, I look at it and I just know I'm not going to have fun. So I just not simply because I think the game is bad, but just because I'm not good at it. / I might play 3 rounds with Michael and then we both give up. So I'm like, why would I spend $60 on that? Like that's it's more of a money thing maybe with fighting games. I wouldn't put a lot of time into it.
Well, what about if Rylander wrote into the podcast and they say, hey, MinnMax, every time a new fighting game comes out, I hear every podcaster on Earth say something like, Marvel Tokon looks great, but I suck at these, so I won't bother. And it drives me crazy. Why is this an acceptable mentality with fighting games and not anything else in life? People pick up new hobbies or skills all the time, suck at them, and no one cares. None of the seniors playing pickleball in your local club are winning championships. I know people who have loved fighting games their whole lives who aren't good at them, and no one judges them for it. It's okay to suck at a game. Also, you don't need to buy a $200 fight stick. Most of the best players now play with a regular old DualSense. Am I nuts here? Says Rylander.
This feels like hope. Feels like hope. Nobody plays the games that I like because they're just too hard.
But, I mean, I understand where they're coming from, and I think I had that experience a little bit, like hearing about From Software games for so long, dabbling, and everyone just being like, "Oh, it's gonna kick your butt," and then playing Elden Ring and being like, the game wants you to beat it. Like it's not like a brick wall, you know. And I feel there's a little bit of like fighting game fans also of like they're designed to be played by human beings. Stop being so scared.
Unless you're playing against other human beings, which is the way that like 99% of those games go, and then you're going to get annihilated by like it is not a welcoming kind of thing like everything else. And I think when people say, "Oh, I wouldn't be good at it, therefore I don't want to play," it's not that they're self-conscious that people are going to be like, "Haha, you're bad at this game." It's that they're going to get their ass kicked. They're not going to get a single hit in, and that does not feel fun, and they're not going to want to keep coming back to it.
There's this concept called matchmaking. Are we factoring in that the game is working as hard as it possibly can to give you a good experience?
I think it's just it's very like fighting games are very streamlined, right? Like they're all mechanics based. It's a mechanics based game. And it's like, I feel like people bounce off games because they don't like the game's mechanics, but I feel like fighting games are their mechanics. Like there's nothing else that could like make you even want to be better at them if like you bounce off the mechanics from the beginning.
There's no decorating your fight room back at home.
Also I think it's hard to do single player competitive games. Like I think that's why like the team play competitive games are so much more popular. It's because like you can do that with other people, you can do it with friends, you can get better together kind of thing. But I think fighting games are just in a hard genre specifically. And there's a lot of things that like if you like them, you'll like most of them. But a lot of people just bounce off. Like, what do I get from being good at a fighting game? Like, what do I walk away with?
It's very satisfying, I think, to learn the systems and to have, like, the fun competitive nature. To, like, play a game where you and your friends are just going, oh, back and forth. You know, fun gaming. I think.
But I do that when I play Deadlock, like, with my friends on my team.
And that's great. God bless you. But what if the rest of the world, as they are now for the MinnMax cohort, just being like, Deadlock, that seems hard. I don't like MOBAs. The end.
As opposed to playing a fighting game where it's like, here is this list of combos, memorize them, before you go online to get your ass kicked because you didn't know that you were going to get stun locked in an air juggle and you don't know what the iframes
exactly
are.
This. Find somebody who is at the same skill level as you, and then just play this game. Find a game to play with them.
That's a lot. You're asking a lot
That's
of
a
people.
lot.
The MinnMax Discord. Jump in there. There's a Tokon channel, probably.
There's still like a mentality, and I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. Like, it's great that people like fighting games, but I do not want to play a game where I have to. It feels like homework to me to have to go in and try and memorize combos in order, and then like figure out how to string them. Like, it's great if that appeals to you, but like this whole premise of like, well, yeah, you're bad at most things and then you get better at them. This is like a very specific thing that you start bad at, and the thing that you have to do to get good at them is something that does not appeal to me and doesn't appeal to a lot of people, I think. Like, competitive shooters is another one where it's like, I can play Battlefield and I suck at competitive shooters, but I can run around as a medic and I can find other ways. Like, a lot of the competitive shooters have changed over the years. Like, I don't play Counter-Strike for the same, like, Counter-Strike is like the equal to me of like competitive shooters to fighting games, where it's like you're doing one thing and you have to be really good at it. And like that, like, Counter-Strike is just this one specific type of experience. And like other shooters have tried to expand that in a bunch of different ways to make it more satisfying if you're not the best at them. And like fighting games can't do that as much unless you're like I know you like the single player and like Mortal Kombat and things like that, but yeah, it's like fighting games are a much more narrow experience than a lot of other genres.
I'm sure you have this though, Jeff. Imagining Rylander's point of view, an entire community's point of view, I think, of just like, you've probably had a lot in your life of people being like, your tabletop games, that's impossible. There's so many numbers on there. I don't even know how you'd possibly play that. And you just like gotta sit down and be like, on your turn, you can do one of three things. Is that really so hard to understand? And the same thing with like fighting games, with like, learn 2 combos you like, and then have fun playing the characters that are fun and silly. Like, there's a simpler version.
I don't get it. Like, there's
this.
nothing. Like, we get it. Like, we understand. We understand the game. We just don't want to play it. And I genuinely believe I could put time and effort into fighting games and get better at them. But it's like, at the core of it, I don't think it's fun.
That's what I feel like. Like, I would say Smash is the only one I would play somewhat regularly. I think I'm a lower intermediate Smash player. I don't think I'm the worst. I don't think I'm even intermediate, but I can beat people. Like, sometimes I beat my friends. They're like 1 out of every 20, and we're like, yay! Like, that's where I'm at. So I've been in a room where I win rounds of Smash, and I've been in way more rooms where I lose. And the times where I win, I'm not even having that much fun. So why would I invest skills to become the best in the room and win when I didn't even have fun the other times I won with lower skill set? You know what I mean? Like, I don't have fun.
Yeah,
like, it's not as fun as other things for me.
And I think Smash is like a good example, like counter example for fighting games of like, there's more to do. It does have a different feeling where it's like you're going to get knocked out and maybe you can get back onto a platform and stuff like that. Kind of thing is fun. The whole like just learn 2 combos and then go into a game and then you're going to have fun. Like, I did that in the Street Fighter days. You learn 2 combos and then the person you're fighting against knows that you're only going to do 100 hand slap every time, and then he dive bombs your head and like kicks your ass anyway. Like that, it's just not. I feel like the people who make this argument are so much better at fighting games that like they are going to get fun out of it, and like they're underestimating that it's not a fun thing for everybody. Of like, I don't want to memorize combos. It's not. I've played plenty of fucking fighting games. I don't know why I'm having to defend myself. I've played plenty of fighting games in my life, and it's just something that going back to is, you know, I might still try to play Street Fighter 2 for a couple minutes, but it's just my days of memorizing combos are so far behind.
I think just what it comes down to is the fighting game community wants to be validated by people who aren't in the fighting game community. Like, they want their games to be validated.
Don't do that.
And it's like, it's just that you're just not going to get that. Like, and there's plenty of other people who are validating your fighting games. it's just not gonna be
you have,
me.
You
like,
have
there's
one of the
other
biggest
people.
competitive arenas. Or like you're doing
So
great.
why do
Don't
you
worry
need it
about the rest
from
of us.
me?
You don't need casuals coming in there to get their ass kicked to tell you that your game's good.
I don't think it's please validate me and my lifestyle. I'm sure part of it is that. I think it's also the idea of like, I understand where they're coming from. It was frustrating to hear people just be like, I'm too intimidated, no. And they worry about like, are fighting games going to be the next RTS of just a genre that you love, but people are intimidated by them and the genre just slowly fades away and people make less and less of them. Like, I still feel like it's a miracle we got Street Fighter 6 the way we did. You know, it's just like, we feel like it's still... It feels like we're very lucky to get the fighting games we do. And if there's
is genuinely people think fighting games are going to disappear forever because new players are playing?
Forever. But like if there's like a bigger gap between big releases, it's a bummer when your genre starts to not have as many releases. Totally. I think it's doing okay right now, but I mean this year I think a couple of 2XKO.
I feel like there's
Riot
a bunch of fighting
hard.
games, but
a lot of them are bombing and dying.
Exactly. I'm sorry.
That's why they need the validation.
The assumption should be less that everyone's intimidated, and I think there should be a bigger grace given to, I'm not intimidated, I don't want to play that. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like the de facto is, this is too hard for you, but come on over here. It's like, no, I think I could get good at it. I'm not interested. Thank you very much. Is how, and I don't like when it's just, everyone hates this because it's hard. I'm like, no, it's just not my cup of tea, and that's okay. I'm glad you're having fun.
I just think it was wise words from Scorpion when he looked at the non-fighting game community and said, hey, get over here.
Get over here.
There's some wisdom there.
But then we say no, and they're like, oh, it's because our game's too hard. And
Well,
it's
then
like,
he actually
no,
grabs you
what?
with the spear and yanks you toward. You don't really have a choice and get over here now that I think about it. Chris Pelly writes in and asks, have you ever encountered anyone with a Fields of Mistria tattoo? And if not, have you considered how you'll react when you do encounter someone with one?
I haven't seen a Fields of Mistria tattoo in the wild. But the team all has Fields of Mistria tattoos. Not me.
Really?
But like the team. Yeah, they all got... Fields of Mistria has a language in it. Which I think is like... They have their own language that we translated. I believe from like an old Irish style. They have their own writing system.
Wow.
Like the writing system. And they all have tattoos in that writing style. Just saying different things. And the writing style looks like... It's like a line with a bunch of branching lines coming off of it. I thought that was really cute, and they all have tattoos of it.
That's pretty cute.
Did you feel a little
I do see
twinge?
a March tattoo.
I could get one if I wanted, but it's like I don't have any tattoos, so
You break the seal with that one.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah. I think you should get a big tattoo instead. That's pew bang tattoo. Yeah, that works. I was gonna say I love fighting games or something, but that's a better angle. Final Sin. Oh, this is
Tattoo
actually
the combos on your skin, and then you won't forget them.
Yeah, it's like
and then I'll just
glancing.
put them on my inner
Mulan.
arm when I play single-handedly because I have to look at my combos.
Yeah, it's like momentum.
God, and what if they patch it? Oh man, that'll be really weird.
Skin patch.
Tattoo fixed.
Renee Nunez writes in and says, who in the cohort do you want with you in a potential bar fight? Whether they're tough or a professional diffuser. Interesting. We don't like fighting, so we wouldn't be in a bar
Haley.
fight. Yeah.
I only want Haley.
I would also
Haley's
take
the
Haley.
answer.
I only want Haley.
That's really kind.
As the way you put it in Japan, I think. How did you phrase it, Haley? So luckily, I think you said Sarah's the snacks, but you got to get through the fridge.
Oh yeah, got to pass through the fridge to get to the snacks.
Okay.
Get the hell out of my way. No, I've had a man say that to me when my friend was like, I don't want to go with this guy. Can you get rid of him for me? He's scaring me. And I was like, get the f*** away from her. And he was like, fridge blocking the snacks. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Ate your snacks. Get the hell out of our faces, you prick. And I've never forgot that. And I embrace it rather than get offended. I said, yeah, I'm the fridge.
I'm about to get
the hell
dropped
outta
on
here.
your head.
Get away from my petite little friends. I'll sit on you.
Great. I'm glad that's universal. Yeah. Oh, here's a calm one. Everyone relax.
Mine was Janet, by the way.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good.
I can see her. I go high, she goes low.
Damage will be done. Tom Blackburn writes in and says, enough about fighting games. Why does the Final Fantasy series get lauded so much for their stories when the writing is objectively dog water? Is the way.
And then after this, Ben, is there anything else that we haven't on that you like that you would like to submit for the three of us to on.
Hey, you all voted for it. Yeah, these are questions you voted for. The floor is yours, Jeff. Speak now. Forever hold your peace.
This one does stick out to me because it's one of those things where it's like, is it objectively terrible or has it just been translated from its original intended language? And I always get a little weirded out by that because, it's like the pacing of dialogue, the word choice, all of those things, just because they don't appeal to us doesn't mean, like, watch a Japanese movie sometime and it's gonna, or a Japanese TV show, Japanese drama, whatever, like, it has a different feeling to it, and to just dismiss it as this is terrible because I'm not from that culture and I'm like, this is not the way that we film movies or, express dialogue or whatever, feels a little weird. I'm sure Square could do a better job if they wanted to localizing those kind of things. And like that might patch over some of the things, but I also don't really want that in the first place. I don't mind that it's like coming from a different culture and it has a different feel from other things. The other series that I think about is like Yakuza, and I don't know how people is the dialogue that much of a banger, or like do we just connect to the characters and like the crazy moments and it like ropes you in, because even though it is different, like Japanese media is good in its own way, and it works on you if you're like exposed to it enough. Like it's a weird thing that I wouldn't come out as strongly of just being like, this is objectively terrible to everybody.
It's complicated.
The
right?
end.
I do think on the Yakuza front, I 8-4-Play podcast. Have you heard of it, Sarah?
I'm nodding for listeners.
Don't worry, audio listeners, she's nodding. But like they've talked a lot about Yakuza, just like how it's like masterclass of localization. Like there's so much work and specificity for that series to make sure that it does still feel alive and kind of fun in the English. And maybe some of that has kind of been lost to time. I mean, it depends on like Tom Blackburn. There's so many eras of Final Fantasy you could be coming from. Are you dogging the writing in Final Fantasy IV? Or are you dogging the writing in Final Fantasy 13? It is like a night and day, almost different problem for either side of that spectrum.
I'm thinking of like 10 when me and Kelsey were looking at that final scene.
Right.
That's the clunkiness that I'm kind of thinking of when I hear this question.
Right. I do think there's something to that. And like, I love Final Fantasy. I think if you polled big Final Fantasy fans about their favorite things in the franchise collectively, it's like characters are high. I think writing, lines of dialogue, I don't think it's cracking top 5, if I'm being honest. And like, have you seen those little dioramas that they sell, like the PlayStation 1 dioramas? They have them in like Target now and stuff, where it's like a black box PlayStation game, and then you can unfold it, and it has like old PlayStation art and stuff.
That's cute.
It's a very cute thing, and they have it for Final Fantasy VII and a bunch of other games. And the Final Fantasy VII one, we had a whole text thread about it, the Deepest Dive boys, because it's odd. So it's like the town burning with Cloud and Sephiroth, and then the line of dialogue is just Cloud saying, "Sephiroth, this is beyond cruel." And I'm like, I love Final Fantasy VII. The line, "Sephiroth, this is beyond cruel," I don't think has ever stood out to me. Maybe I'm out of touch with Final Fantasy VII fans, but it just makes you do that second guessing of like, wait, what is like the go-to line of dialogue from 7, like on that day 5 years ago, like is the best I've got. It's kind of it's a tricky thing, but incredible games.
A single line, and I played all of Remake.
Okay, so Remake and Rebirth. It's interesting suggestion there. Like, and I think something we don't talk enough about is Final Fantasy 16. By God, that lovely relationship. No, but it's how stuff was recorded in Final Fantasy 16, how it was an English first script and performance, and then they reverse engineered it into the Japanese. And like, I know they came out so close to each other, but you look at just the tone of their performance between something like Rebirth and 16, and it is just night and day. Rebirth is just very anime. The pacing is going to feel weird if you're not used to that experience. Whereas like, I think the performances And just the pace of the conversation in 16, it just feels like a breath of fresh air as a Final Fantasy fan. And I wish that more Final Fantasies had that English first approach, but I understand that that's sacrilegious because so much of the feeling of Final Fantasy is you want that Japan first approach at this point. But 16, I just don't think gets enough credit for that front.
I didn't know that was that.
Yeah, that was that.
I didn't know that was that.
And that is that. Martin Hollis writes in, so Tom Blackburn, I guess, if it's dog water, I'm going to make you drink it. Martin Hollis writes in, they say, what is the best physical delivery device for video games ever? As much as I love Game Boy cartridges clunking into place, I got to give it to the smooth edges of the Wii U disc. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, those
The Wii U specifically?
is the smooth
It has
edge.
like bumpers on it. Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't stab somebody with a Wii U disc. It was kind of designed that way.
It's kind of
I
like
didn't know that. I was
caught in
thinking
a way.
like the GameCube disc is my favorite because they're so small.
I do
Yeah.
like those little
Rinky-dinky.
those little
And they like
guys.
clicked in really well, and then you like ejected them, the little button.
And we all, to be clear, we all hit the eject button for GameCube. We didn't just pry it out of there like Neanderthals, just to double check. Great, cool. Yeah, we're all on that same page and we treated our media well. I mean,
I love Game Boy Advance cartridges because you
Yeah.
get the fun of a cartridge in half the factor form. Just like they're such a good size. I remember my little bag. I kept them all in, and I could keep so many of them in there because they were such the perfect size to reach in and grab one, but not too big, but not too small.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying, you guys?
I do. And also, here's my addendum to that. Game Boy Advance cartridge, however, in the DS, putting it like in the front of like a DS Lite. I love it. Just like front loading RAM and a GBA in there. It feels like you're getting away with murder. Like, I can still play my old games. This is sweet.
I also like
mine-
N64 cartridges just in this era because they're so like cute on a shelf.
Yeah.
I like the original Game Boy. It's like a chunky size nowadays. Like I want media that's that big, that's big enough, not like a little puny USB drive or like the little Switch cartridges. Like I want something. It feels very retro at this point, but it's retro stuff's coming back. So
Yeah, you're right. It is a nice size. It totally gets it done. Travis and Fargo writes in, they say, what's the most...
so dismissive. You son of a bitch.
Yeah, I really get the
like,
job done.
Jeff.
Never
next
been so
one.
dismissed.
It's
Wow.
good. It's good. It's good. Travis and Fargo writes in, they say, what's the most satisfying, memorable, or consequential use of the F word in a movie ever? Most satisfying, memorable, or consequential F word in a movie?
Mine's not in a movie, so I'm cheating a little bit. But I think the piece of media, if I may, that uses F words the best is BoJack Horseman, because they have one a season, and it's almost like you're anticipating it the whole season. Like, when are they finally going to use it? And every season has just the most perfect F-bomb, and all of them are for different reasons. Like, one of them's very melancholy, one of them's funny, and it's always just this big deal when it's like, oh, that's the F-bomb of the season.
Where's this coming from that they can only do one a season?
I don't know if it was a self-imposed thing or if it's due to ratings or something like that, but it's like, I don't know. They're all, I can think of every one in my head. Like, that's how impactful they are.
Oh, weird.
They're all so good.
That's good. That's a good answer.
No, mine's also cheating because it's also television. But every time Logan Roy tells someone to f*** off in succession, it's like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like, for that becoming a catchphrase, like an F-bomb is rarely, I guess Yippee-ki-yay, Die Hard, I guess, if we want to count that for like
Yeah,
catchphrase F-bomb.
I feel like that's more popular because of the Yippee-ki-yay, and the motherfucker at the end of it just, like, it doesn't hit, it doesn't punch like an F word should.
You think so?
Yippee-ki-yay kind of downgrades the F word there.
It does,
Something
it does.
boring. I would agree, yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
You could say Yippee-ki-yay, little Jimmy, and it's like, feels the same as if you said mother effer.
Yeah.
I think that was the original line, actually.
Yeah, little Jimmy.
Yippee-ki-yay, little Jimmy.
In terms of like impactful, I like that Marvel finally broke the seal and they had an F-bomb in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
With the door thing.
Yeah, where it's just like this scene where they're trying to open a car door and the Star-Lord just gets genuinely frustrated because just open the fucking door. Like, it's just like this subtle, it's not a big moment at all, but it's like, oh, that is surprisingly impactful to have him talk like a human being right now.
Yeah.
The other one that the internet points to is X-Men First Class,
Oh.
where Professor X tries to recruit Wolverine, and it's actually Hugh Jackman because everybody else is younger, but he's just himself. And he comes up and he starts talking to him, and he says, "Go f*** yourself."
That's right.
And then he just turns around and walks right back out.
That's good. I thought you were going to go with X-Men 3, I'm Juggernaut, bitch line. I was going to be like, oh, Jeff.
Well, no, that's not an F word.
I know. I thought you were just really eager to quote that iconic line
Juggernaut.
from the film.
That was great.
No, but for me, I think it's Eyes Wide Shut. We all know Eyes Wide Shut, Stanley Kubrick's last movie. Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman. Do you know the premise of this movie, Haley?
Yeah, we all know the premise.
It's become like a shorthand. You know, like how casually people are always talking about Eyes Wide Shut parties? Have you ever heard that?
And this was your favorite movie.
It's not my favorite movie.
Is this the one where they're all they're at a party and they're all like putting their hand on something?
It's a lot of sex parties with like masks and freaky stuff is the idea of Eyes Wide Shut, right? That's the plot, is what if sex parties with freaky masks? But I remember seeing this movie when I was like 16 or whatever. And so to me, I was like, you can end a movie like that? Where it just ends with like, it's this whole ordeal. It's a complicated relationship. And then it just ends with like a husband and wife looking at each other. And the wife's like, there's just one thing we need to do now. And Tom Cruise is like, what? Nicole Kidman just goes, fuck. Cut to credits. And like as a kid, I was like, that is the craziest
And you were
ending.
like, this is the best movie I've ever seen and will remain the
I
best
said,
movie,
rewind
my
it.
favorite movie.
Theater Projector Man, rewind it. That was crazy. So
That's how that movie ends?
It's literally the final line. And not only that, Kubrick then died, like as the movie was releasing or whatever. So it's like the
Because
final
it was so
line.
bad?
No, because it was so awesome.
Oh, he saw it in the theaters on opening night.
Yeah, it's a
And
truth.
said, I ended my movie how?
No, people don't realize it. What happened to him is it brought the house down and the theater collapsed on him and he died in that theater with that final line.
Wow,
from
because
Eyes
they're
Wide
so
Shut.
good. Oh, okay.
It was crazy. All right, what do y'all like? Sarah, what do you like? Question of the week.
Oh no, wait, I wasn't paying attention.
Fun.
What was the first one?
I'm gonna go. Let's see.
Fun.
We have stuff like gameplay elements or activities other people might consider busy work you enjoy. The fighting games.
I like the food one where we talked about bread for a
food,
long
old
time.
bread, F word. Okay, food one. Jeff, where are you leaning?
I like the fighting one.
I'm kind of leaning that one too. It certainly got the most spark out of everybody. Sarah, where are you leaning?
This feels like reparations for the fighting game community.
Don't you think so?
Here's your prize. You got us to tear each other apart.
Yeah.
You
So
win.
of course you win the natural prize of the Gone Home vinyl soundtrack or Highlander.
Oh, you probably love games like that if you're a fighting shit, Otto.
Hell yeah. Now it's time for something we call Get a Load of This. Hey folks, get a load of this. Oldie but a goodie. I just stumbled across this on YouTube, and it's an old video. I feel like it's been parodied 1,000 times, but worth just watching a montage of this. Remember CSI Miami, Jeffem, circa like 2004, and it was the hottest show in the world? And do you remember how the main character, Horatio, it was just almost every episode, he would see some horrific murder, make a quip, put on his sunglasses, and then the Who would play and go, yeah! And do you guys, are you familiar with this trope, Haley and Sarah? Did you
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
this show? Okay. And there's just a montage of just, like 100 times for the opening. And you just become mesmerized watching it. Link in the description. But also just now looking back on it, I was like, this is insane. Like, he's stumbling across like a young woman murdered in a swamp and he just makes a joke and it's like an F yeah moment. He's just quipping over corpses. It's insane.
I
think that's kind of part of the charm.
It always felt like the kind of thing that act, and I'm sorry, the actor's
David
very
Caruso.
good.
Please give him his
Yes.
due.
It feels like the kind of thing that he would think is cool and like is a good line in that moment to say. And that he is like epitomizing coolness when he does that, and everybody else in the world is like, what the hell are we watching? And then you laugh at it is I assume what everybody else does, but not because the joke was funny, because it was so incredibly lame, and he's standing there like he's the coolest person on the planet.
I
After
think
saying
you're
that,
putting too much
right?
on this actor. I think it comes from they were stuck because their opening notes of their title track is and so like you need to have something that works into that. You can't have like I'm falling off this cliff. I'm hanging by one hand. It's a cliffhanger. Get ready, and then cut to like nothing works except
Or
for
like, can I get those docs on my office desk by 3? Yeah, okay.
like you can't.
That would
do
actually
it.
be incredible if they just did that one episode out of like the 300 episodes.
Yeah, I do want to see the most jarring use of that intro. But anyways, link in the description if you want to watch them.
Get a load of this. Yes. So there is a really cute thing going around. Itch.io posted it on Blue Sky. That's how I'll find it. But 127 games are available for purchase for $10. And all of the money goes to support game devs affected by layoffs. And there's a ton of really great games in there. I bought it myself. There's a short hike, that Arranger puzzle, Skatebird, which I wanted to play, and then literally like 100 more.
Don't get Jeff when I started on Skatebird.
Skatebird.
Remember that
I played that
Thanksgiving?
game. Love it.
I know, it was very cute. That Thanksgiving joke-a-thon where we just kept dunking on Skatebird.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody had like 2 skateboards.
Yeah, but that's cool. Link in the description for that charity donation there.
Yeah. And they're almost at $250,000.
Jeez.
Nice. Get a load of this. This was another old video that I never saw until recently, but apparently, and I don't watch Saturday Night Live anymore, but a short came across my feed that was apparently written just for me because it was a Weezer based skit with Matt Damon. Matt Damon goes to like him and his wife go to a dinner with neighbors, and he and Leslie Jones get into an argument because they're both huge Weezer fans.
Right.
But she's old school Weezer fan, which means she only likes the Blue Album and Pinkerton, and he likes all the new stuff. And like a super Weezer fan must have written that because every single joke and detail in it was absolutely on point, and I got every single moment of it, and could also identify with both characters. That's how sick it is.
Now,
it
some
was
people
incredible.
become obsessed with Matt Damon's The Odyssey, but for Jeff, in this summer of
No,
2026,
that was it.
it's
He
the
peaked.
Weezer sketch from
He
SNL.
peaked early. Yes,
Okay,
that was it.
yeah, try harder.
And apparently, I just heard this. Apparently, Weezer just put out the Gold album, which is their 20th album.
That's so insane.
They've released 20 albums.
They only
It's
released
I saw them
insane.
live
three,
the other
my
week. They were in my city the other week.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, and they were great. It was a great concert.
Yeah.
What percentage of old stuff versus new stuff that no one's ever heard on planet Earth?
Mostly old stuff, I would say.
Really?
I was pretty drunk though, so I can't really remember everything. No, like deadass. I was waiting for one particular song. And I went to the bathroom and I heard it while in the bathroom, and I was like, "Ah!" I was like screaming from the bathroom. I was pissed. Wrestle with Jimmy. That's what I wanted. I wanted that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Ooh,
came
well,
back and
there
Michael
you go.
said, "You missed Wrestle with Jimmy." Damn it.
I'll say it ain't
Yeah.
so. There was
Might get a load of this.
Yeah.
It's just that I released Fields of Mistria. Please buy it and leave a good review.
There we go.
Yay!
It's good as hell. And
good
that's
as
not because I
hell.
love Sarah. It's because it is good as hell.
On Steam, folks. Hey, get a load of this. Fancygram wrote in the Discord. They say, Into the Aether just posted their new episode of the podcast where they cover Penn and Teller VR. And they only covered that because they narrowly lost in Trivia Tower. So shout out to them for following up on that. We had the big competition in Trivia Tower, and it came down to the absolute wire, and they lost. So I got to choose the game that they were forced to talk about on their podcast, and I chose a weird, obscure thing, which is Penn and Teller's VR game made by Gearbox, the developers of Borderlands, where you can just role play as Penn Jillette reading all of Moby Dick. It's a weird thing that a lot of people don't know existed. So shout out to those folks listening Into the Aether. It's good. Well, hey, that's it for this episode of the MinnMax Show. Thank you so much for watching, listening, sharing, all that fun stuff. If you look at your calendar and you look at Monday, August 17th, you might want to circle it. Why is that, ladies?
Pew Pew Bang comes back. Pew Pew Bang is back in business.
Return of the Bang.
Return of the Bang.
For the 4th season, they all talk like this.
That's what everyone wants. We're men now.
Pew Pew Bang, they're men now. Please subscribe.
Suddenly, people really appreciate our opinions on
Why
things.
are our views tripling? What the hell?
Wait, fighting games are good. Subscribe.
You
on your
guys
favorite
should do
podcast
an
app.
episode of that. I would love a parody episode.
Yeah, we'll get Quick Shot and then the equivalent of whatever your guys' peeps are.
Who would I be? Ooh, what like toxic online male persona would I be?
That'd actually be so fun.
Ooh.
There you go.
Totally.
So subscribe. You want to give a hint for what the first episode's about? The theme?
I can't remember what our first
Kelsey's
episode was.
horses.
Kelsey's horses.
Kelsey's horses. It's going to be a great episode.
That's literally what we named it in our internal documents.
Hell yeah. Also, bonus pod. Yeah, we mentioned this week a huge Fields of Mistria chat with the Haley and folks. So you can check that out. Who are your guests on that episode there, Haley?
Annie Maynard, who is, of course, Jacob's lovely wife. She also helped design his books. Shout out Annie. And she doesn't play a lot of games, but she plays a lot of Fields of Mystery, a perfect person to talk to. And then Kavi Akbar, who is a award-winning poet and author and also a lovely human being who's a Pew Pew Bang fan. He's a Pew Pew Bang girly. Yes, he loves Pew Pew Bang. And yeah, lovely person who also loves Fields of Mystery. So it was a fantastic talk. Both so easy to talk to. I had a great time.
That's awesome. And then also we have a MinnMax interview up on the YouTube channel, then also in that bonus podcast feed. If at the $5 tier, you unlock the extra podcast every week with bonus pod, but then also the podcast versions of our interviews. And this is with the two leads for Orbitals, which is that Switch 2 exclusive game that's coming out very early September here. That is, if you like Hazelights games, if you like It Takes Two and stuff like that, the game's director.
I really hope that comparison doesn't hurt them too much, you know?
Yeah?
Yeah. It's not fair. There's not enough games in that genre that I don't want people to be like, this one with a crazy huge budget. Is it the exact same? I get worried about that for them.
Well, it's interesting. They talked about, they're like, we don't want to say exact numbers, but like it's designed to be beat in 2 or 3 sessions is the way they phrased it. So I'm like, if this is just like something that's almost as fun as something like It Takes Two, even gameplay wise. And to be fair, I have not started playing this thing yet. And the visuals are that 80s anime. It looks absolutely incredible. And it's like 6 hours long. I'm like, freaking mission accomplished. That sounds great. Yeah. So I can't wait to jump into that. So check out that interview. And then also we have a rapid fire interview dropping next week. We just had a little screening session with folks in the MinnMax Discord and stuff. So Leo's hosting this one. So stay tuned, everybody, for a fun rapid fire dropping next week. And Haley, thank you so much, because I was on the call with Leo and the developer, and I guess what to say, it's Jeff Kaplan from Overwatch fame, talking about his new game, Legend of California, right? So I was on the call as well, and it was like in my most fun position of just like writing follow-up jokes and little follow-up questions for Leo. So after we record the interview, then I could be like, Leo, could you just go back and ask this then? And Jeff was a good sport and all that stuff. And there was one joke that I was like, oh, you can make this as a follow-up. And Leo, it was like dragging a dog to the vet. He's like, don't make me say this to Jeff Kaplan's face. I hate this joke. It's just stupid wordplay, like basic stupid wordplay. And we did a test screening and Haley popped so hard for that freaking joke. And it was like the most validating thing ever.
I was muted and even Leo was like, you freaked out. And I saw it. Just in the corner of my eye.
And Haley's like, yeah, I freaked out because you were so quick-witted, Leo. It's like the opposite of what happened, but I love that that's the way it comes across in the edit.
That's how it comes across, that Leo is the fastest thinker in the West and came up with a joke that I couldn't even say out loud if I had it pre-planned.
It's very dumb. So look forward to that. Should be dropping Tuesday next week. So that's it. Thanks so much, everybody. Watch us skateboard on YouTube as well if you want to see us in action.
By the way, dude, fine, you win. You can skateboard. You got
yeah!
me. I'll say that in the last 10 seconds of the episode.
Oh, thank God. Validation's possible, everybody. Justice is real. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. Be good. Have fun. Let's go.
Woo.